base. Fiala blocked, loose. Byfield with it. Here's Fiala. A shot, glove, rebound. LA's on the board.
That's like the olden days with Patty Watt, Marty
Brodeur, played 72 a game a season. Hits Jet. Two a game a season. It's 2-0 Hawks.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Carried right back up again by Schwartz. Rolled back down. Tarasenko steps to it. Tarasenko
On Sports 1440.
Field with it. Here's Fiala. A shot, glove, rebound, score! Corey Perry, his first as a King, and LA's on the board.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Two a game a season. Here's Jet. Gets his 250th goal and makes it 2-0 Hawks.
Oh, a little bit of a free agent frenzy. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you are having an awesome day. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And tonight, the Curtis Lazard Lottery, $20 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers, Stan Bowman kind of hinted at it yesterday that they were done. They did not make any moves today. And now the Oilers will prepare to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And for only the fifth time in the last 30 years, outside of like a season opening game, because obviously at the start of a season, you could have multiple new players in the lineup. But the Edmonton Oilers tonight will have 3 new faces in the lineup. And the last time that happened, you might recall it, back in 2020. Remember when Tyler Ennis came on board? Well, he was one of them. Athanasiou, if you recall, was another one. And that one, I know people get kind of upset about that trade because, you know, that was the COVID year. Those guys played a few games and then boom, the season ended. And Athanasiou, even though the Oilers actually offered him a higher contract, he said no. And then, of course, Mike Green was in, and he didn't come to the bubble. Athanasiou didn't play. So, you know, those acquisitions, you know, didn't work out. Now, at the time of the trade deadline, which was February 25th of 2020, that was the day that those 3 made the Oilers debut. there was no talk of COVID that came. What was it? I don't remember the day. It was March 10th. I remember we were at the Order game and they'd shut it down, the NBA, and then like the next day, everything kind of just went done. So back in 2018, Brandon Manning, Alex Petrovic, and Joseph Gambardella. That was into December, no trades, but the Oilers had some injuries, and they just acquired Brandon Manning. All three of them made their debut. March 20th, 1999. Many of you probably remember this one right after the trade deadline. The Oilers had made a few deals. Chad Kilger and Ethan Morrow came over from Chicago. Tommy Salo made his Oiler debut. Ended up having a pretty good run with the Edmonton Oilers. And on January 7th, 1998, the Circus, Tony Herkus, Bill Guerin, and Valerie Zelapukin. All three made their debuts for the Edmonton Oilers. And tonight it will be Dickinson wearing number 16, Colton Dock wearing number 34, and Connor Murphy will don number 5 tonight. If you're going to the game, if you're watching the game, you will have some new numbers to look at. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us, loaded show. We are going to go. So, and I'll ask you, I'm curious your thoughts as fans of the league. Connor Halley's going to get his opinion too. Which teams do you think improved the most? I'm not going to say who is best. I just say, who do you think improved the most to their teams here leading up to the trade deadline? So I look at, for me, Minnesota, Utah, Edmonton. Detroit, Buffalo, the Islanders in the East. Teams who surprised me, Montreal did nothing. Calgary not moving Coleman, a little surprised. And I'm surprised they added Strome. Just we'll see what he does. He's had a really tough year. Vegas, normally more aggressive, but I think their lack of movement tells me that maybe their organization isn't as confident in their team as they have been in other years, because usually they make big moves. Big moves. So, we'll see where it goes. Give me your thoughts. 833-401-1440. Do you, hey, Greg's. Now, Cons, is it true? Did Nazam Kadri just get traded? Did that trade come down? Did it happen?
Yeah, Avalanche.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
I guess the Avs had a good day.
Yeah.
We don't have anything back yet, but yeah, it looks like it's Kadri to the Avalanche.
Ooh, wow. For what? They got to give up something. That to me is, that's wild.
Josh is fist pumping on the way home. I know he wanted him moved.
Yeah. Oh, God. I think you have to include, well, Colorado now for sure, right? That's good. So the Colorado Avalanche, Nazam Kadri going back to where he won in 2022. Oof. That is, now I got to see the return. We'll wait for the return, but that's a pretty big move, man. Pretty big move. So, they get Strome, and Strome's obviously just to replace Nazam Kadri. Not a bad move. What did we say, Cons, during the break? I said, well, I think you get Strome now so you can move Kadri in the summertime. That's what we said to Josh, because Josh obviously follows the Flames rather closely. You know why? We're not really sure, but he does. And now we know why they made that deal. So that makes more sense now that you see all of it. So Colorado with that late move. So woo, mama. That is big deal. So you got McKinnon, you got Brock Nelson, you got Kadri, you got Drac Jury, Nick Roy. They got some pretty good depth in Colorado, man. That's going to make them tough. But I will say this, that, Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, that's going to be a war. And that's the advantage for Edmonton. That's an advantage. There's no question in my mind. That's the advantage for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, you got to take advantage of that, right? Why do I say it's an advantage? Because, I look at Minnesota's defense core, and they're really good, but they're also on the smaller side. And will that matter into a third round? Could they be banged up? Right? Like Quinn Hughes is incredibly mobile, but Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes, Jared Spurgeon, all three of those guys are sub 6 feet, right? Jacob Middleton's huge, right? I like Bogosian. Brodeen's an amazing defender, but you got three of your top four guys who are on the smaller side. And over a 2-month just war of attrition, how are they gonna hold out? So we'll see. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Go Avs from Titan. Yeah, hey, if you're an Avs fan, you'll be pretty happy about that one. No question. So that's pretty big. No question. Hey guys, I'm not sure the Oilers can beat Colorado. Well, you know what? We'll never find out. Well, I guess technically you could find out in the first round. Edmonton's got to get top 3 in their division, right? Start there. That's the number one thing. They got to get top 3 in their division. Hey guys, do you think the Kings have done enough to get to the playoffs? Well, the Panarin move obviously was big, but that was done a while ago. That helps them, but they've had him in the lineup, and you know what? They're 3-6-1 their last 10. Obviously hasn't been there that long, but he's been in the lineup since for what, 4 or 5 games, and haven't had a huge uptick just yet. They're 3 back at the Kraken. The Kraken added McMahon, and they didn't trade Jamie Alexak, which I think is a really good move. You're in the playoff spot. You can't be trading away one of your big hulking defensemen. You got to go for it. You need to make the playoffs. The Ducks added Carlson. That should help them. They've got some skilled forwards. I think they'd like to score a little bit more than they've scored. Last I checked, I think the Ducks were 14th in offense, so they'd like to improve a bit. They want to improve more on reducing their goals against. And if you have a puck-moving D-man who can get the puck out of your zone, that can help sometimes. He's still got to be able to defend, and John Carlson obviously can do that. I still like where Edmonton's at, but the next 4 games, I actually think this is perfect timing for the Oilers. They got to wake up defensively and look at their next 4 games. You're playing Carolina tonight. They lead their division, top 3 points in the NHL. Then you got Vegas. They lead the division. It's a huge rivalry game. That's a big game. Then you have Colorado and Dallas, who right up there in NHL in points, right? They're both top 3. Are they top 2? First and second, maybe. They're first and second. So you got the top 3 teams in points in the NHL and the division leading Vegas Golden Knights your next 4 games. This is an opportunity for the Oilers to to wake up. Wake up. Hey guys, the price for Bobby McMahon was pretty reasonable. Why didn't the Oilers do it? JP. Well, you're right. A second and a fourth, not bad. But I look at it this way. So the Edmonton Oilers, look at their top 6 wingers right now. Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, Kapanen, Roslovic, Savoy. You got Frederick too. Where's Bobby McMahon? Like, are you going to give up a second and a fourth? Like, where are you playing him? Bobby McMahon, and the truth of the matter is, which Bobby McMahon are you getting? Are you getting the guy who's on fire because he's a streaky scorer? But is Bobby McMahon much different than Kasperi Kapanen? Honestly, bigger guys can really fly. McMahon's 29 years of age. He's penning UFA. Makes 1.35. Kapanen makes 1.3. Are they that much different, right? He's another left shooting winger. So you got Podkolzin, and you got Nugent Hopkins, and you got Jack Roslovic on the left side. So where would he have fit? That to me was more of the question. I like Bobby McMahon. I love the story. Right now, I know Roslovic's a right shot, so he can play the right side. But you have Hyman, you have Savoy, right? You got Frederick. I don't know if it would have been a good depth move for sure, but you would have moved somebody down the lineup. And I just he's not going to play in your power play. He's not going to penalty kill for you. So how many minutes is he going to play? That would be my question for Bobby McMahon in Edmonton based on the roster they have. Like, where would he have fit in? He wasn't going to play I don't think he was going to play in the check-in line, right? So I guess you play him on Draisaitl's line, right? Yeah, you probably could have done it. But you might be able, like, I'll be curious to see what Bobby McMahon gets as a free agent in the summertime. And because he's going to go to Seattle, and he doesn't have the same skilled players in Seattle that he played with in Toronto. And that's not a knock on any player, but I haven't seen Bobby McMahon away from those guys. Now, and I'm not discounting, because it's a skill to be able to produce when you play at the good players, because not everybody does that, right? So make no mistakes about it. But, Bobby McMahon, he does have 19 goals. He has 11 of them 5-on-5. He wasn't going to be a power play guy here in Edmonton, right? Maybe on your second unit, but you already got Rostovich and Savoy. Is he going to make your second unit that much better? Right. So I look at, like, who's he played most of his minutes with, right? That's going to be the question mark for me. So I'm looking at it quickly. He's played his most minutes with Austin Matthews. He's not playing with an Austin Matthews in Seattle. Now, he's shown he can play with a guy like that, so he could play with Draisaitl. I don't have much doubt. But I don't think Edmonton needs another scoring winger. So I don't know if he was a must. I'd much rather have Dickinson and Murphy, because that's what they needed. And I don't really think Edmonton lacks offense. I want guys who are going to play defense, right? That's what I want. It's just that simple for me right now in Edmonton. If I have to hear one more play, geez, the Oilers don't have enough offense. I'm kind of like, what? Watch the games, dude. Watch the games. They're not lacking offense. Cons, any teams stand out to you?
Well, I mean, hey, after this Colorado deal, hard not to like what they did. I am a fan of the Edmonton Oilers moves. I think going into this one, having a defensive centerman really helps this team. Takes a little bit of the load off McDavid and Draisaitl, especially in the playoffs, going up against good teams where the competition is going to be a little bit more stiff, and the defenseman that they added. I like those moves, but yeah, this Colorado Avalanche move, still waiting to see what the return was here. I've been kind of scouring Twitter for it. I haven't seen anything pop up yet, but really like this move, and familiar with the organization and a lot of the guys that he was there with when he won that cup. I think that's a really good move for them, because I probably said the phrase, arms race in that division about 500 times with them, the Stars and the Minnesota Wild, and I think this is just a sick move for them to kind of put them over the top.
Yeah. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, the Blues picked up 2 firsts. That's impressive from Flintstone. Yeah, they did. And now we'll see, like, what do they do with the firsts, right? And where are those firsts going to be? For those who don't know, they got a first from the Islanders for Shen, and they got a first from the Detroit Red Wings for Justin Falk. And on paper, yeah, that's good. But now you got to make those picks land. And the later in the first round, the odds just drop that they're going to be successful. As far as impact guys, you can get a solid NHL player for sure. But even getting a player who plays 250 plus games in the decade of 2011 to 2020 was 36% in the latter third of the first round. That's how hard it is, man. Like, even in the first round, it's hard to get a player who's going to play 250 plus games in the NHL for you. Some of those guys can be top end guys. Some of them can be middle. We'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. The Buffalo Sabres made some big moves, literally and figuratively. We'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Common thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit TitanSupply.ca.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
The Price is Right Live is coming to Canada, and the Brick is a proud sponsor. Come on down to the Brick to win big. This Saturday, March 7th, from noon to 2. Join us at the Brick South Edmonton Common for your chance to instantly win from over $25,000 in prizes, including Brick shopping sprees, TVs, Oilers tickets, and so much more. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See in-store for contest details and exclusions. So come on down to the Brick South Edmonton Common this Saturday.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Being a living organ donor is a noble, life-changing act. But there's more than one way to be a hero. Join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence. As an employer, you can give the gift of time and remove financial barriers to make employee donations easier. You'll earn recognition, a raised corporate profile, employee satisfaction, and of course, be a huge part in saving lives in desperate need. Support the sacrifice of living donors. Discover how to join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence program today at kidney.ca.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, plows, vacs, pickers, refuse and shunt trucks, plus more. Info at maauctions.com.
Salvi Group is celebrating 50 years of building homes and communities, and we want to share the celebration with you. For a limited time during our 50/50 event, you'll enjoy 50% off select packages. That's special savings, select upgrades, and added value, all designed just for you. Build new or move in sooner at Hillshire. There's never been a better time to call Hillshire home. Celebrate with Salvi Group and enjoy 50 years, 50% off. Visit Hillshire today. Salvi Group, 50 years of craftsmanship, quality, and commitment.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, dozers, digger derrick, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth WE football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton. The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Welcome back. Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Coming to you live, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's been a busy week. Of course, Oilers fans, got 3 new players that you will see tonight. Doc, Dickinson, and Murphy will all be in the lineup. Tristan Jarry, who hasn't started since February 25th, will be in between the pipes for the Oilers as they take on the Metro Division and Eastern Conference leading Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes did make one trade today. Mr. Delorier, big, tough guy out of Philly, comes to Carolina. He's not going to make it in time for the game. I don't expect, but he'll add some toughness there. The Canes have always kind of been the same team. Fast, hard, aggressive in the regular season. I don't think they have the horses come playoff time. They don't really have like the lead horse. They got lots of good guys. They don't have a dominant player. Like you get into a series, they didn't have Barkov. They didn't have Kachuk. They don't have Kucherov. They don't have Point. And that's their problem. They could probably get out of their division again, but even that won't be easy, I don't think. So they don't have the top guys at Buffalo. Buffalo's got Dahlin. They got Tage Thompson. I take Tage Thompson over Sebastian Aho, in my opinion. And Rasmus Dahlin is unreal. Jacob Slavin's a great defensive defenseman, but he doesn't have the overall game of Rasmus Dahlin. So there's another team if you meet. They're not going to beat them either, I don't think, because the big dogs, you know what? That's what carries you more so in the playoffs. So we'll discuss that and more as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And right now, if you're looking, the McDonald's Star Stick meals are back. 7 different kinds. You can check it out as at any participating McDonald's. Of course, you got McDavid and Matthews and Celebrini and Makar and Reinhart and Hughes and Montembeault. Those are the ones you can get right now at McDonald's. As we go out to Buffalo, where it's been a long time coming for our next guest, because we know a thing or two about a decade of darkness, but even the decade of darkness pales in comparison to the last tough 14 years for the Sabres. But that streak is over. I know they're not officially in, but make no mistake, the Buffalo Sabres have been the best team in the National Hockey League since December 1st. They are now tied atop the Atlantic Division with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the Lightning do have a few games in hand, but they've lost 4 in a row. The Sabres have won 5 in a row, and they are rolling. Joe Yerdon joins us from the Bleacher Report. And Joe, it's been a long time for everybody in Buffalo to have a trade deadline where the Sabres were adding, and the Sabres are a legit cup contender. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Jason. You mentioned the decade of darkness. I'm here. Okay. The Wi-Fi is a little weird here today, so things are busy. You can imagine. You mentioned the decade of darkness. The decade and a half of darkness is even crazier here. But it's pretty wild to be here on a day where they're buying, they're adding to the team, adding experience, and adding some toughness to the blue line. And still have to wrap my head around it. This is a team preparing for the postseason. Gotten so used to guys going out of here at the deadline and saying goodbyes, and now we're going to be saying hellos the next few days here.
Well, yeah, that's a good problem to have for them. The Colton Parayko story was obviously a big one, and I don't love how it came out because now it looks like somebody said no to Buffalo, and that's well within his right. That's why he has a no movement clause, and I don't know whoever leaked it out. I don't think it was a great move, but when you looked at that deal, and the number 9 pick from last year, and then another first rounder was going out, they were ready to go all in, and then they pivoted. And obviously they didn't get a Colton Parayko, but they got a guy bigger than Colton Parayko and Logan Stanley, he to me is the epitome of a late developer. He put in a lot of time and there were some real big learning curves, but he's had a great year in Winnipeg. They bring him in And then Schen's there really is the number 7, correct?
I would say so. Yeah. I think we'll see Stanley slot in on that third pairing, probably with Michael Kesselring, a guy you guys might remember a bit up there. But yeah, I got to think Stanley's going to be on that third pair, and he's kind of had that same learning curve as Mattias Samuelsson, who's had an unbelievable season here in Buffalo.
Well, the Sabres top 4, I know is rolling right now. It's led by Dahlin, but right down, from Samuelsson to, right through the rest of the lineup, their top 4 is exceptional.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think of a second pair with Bo Byram and Owen Power. And Power's having a outstanding defensive season. I know the offensive numbers aren't quite where I think a lot of people thought a number 1 pick would have his offensive numbers, but I mean, his defensive work this year has been outstanding. And, he and Byram have worked really well together. But I mean, offense, when you got Dahlin running the show, you don't really need a bunch of defensemen to carry the bags offensively. But, they've got 3 guys that are producing a lot of points back there. And with Stanley and even Schenn as a number 7, you get a couple of roughhouse guys back there to kind of, keep things calm. Maybe not keep things calm. Maybe he's got to liven things up a little bit with how they play. But I mean, you're talking about guys with that can kind of change the mood of a game, and you need that stuff in the playoffs. I mean, folks here might not remember it very well how playoff games work, but when you get guys in there that can kind of throw a little gas on the fire when you need a little bit extra, it's nice to have them in your back pocket, especially a guy as big as Stanley, who is a terrifying fighter, but also plays really solid defensively. And it's kind of the perfect mix for what Lindy Ruff loves to have on this team. He loves having some guys that can kind of knock it around a bit. So yeah, it's a literal big pickup for the Sabres.
So Joe, if we go back to November and on November 30th, the Sabres were in dead last in the not just the Atlantic Division, but in the entire Eastern Conference. And everyone was like, oh my God, here we go again. Right? They had 24 points in their first 25 games. The calendar switches to December, and the Sabres have been the best team in the NHL since. I know that they fired their GM 2 weeks into December, but the GM's not around the team. Well, at least I don't think he's around in the room every day. Like, what changed? Was there a cloud around Kevin Adams that with his departure, like, Kekalainen came in, and I know he was with the organization. Like, did he say something? Like, ultimately, how can you go from dead last to being the best team? Like, what were they doing that was so underachieving in the first 2 months?
A lot of what they were doing wrong was a lot of the stuff they were doing wrong last season. So much of it seemed like a copycat of what was going on last year, where they'd have a really good game, a really strong outing, and you're like, all right, you can see where this team's going. And it would be followed by a couple of games where you're like, boy, these guys can't put 3 passes together. The goals aren't coming. Goalies are playing out of their mind, but they can't score any goals, or, just microaggressions against themselves where they're getting beat. And oddly enough, things turn around when they headed out to Western Canada. They lose a 7-5 game to Calgary. They get swept by the Flames during the season. They lost, I think it was like 5-1 or 5-2 at home to Calgary. And, Calgary was struggling to throw the puck in the ocean, never mind score goals. And here the Flames were just dumping goals over their heads like crazy. And that game was kind of a wake-up call for this whole group because, and Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin talked about it, that like the leadership group came together and said, listen, we don't hold each other's feet to the fire here. How are we going to do it with everybody else? And how are we going to be able to change things? And, the next night they play Edmonton, they get a win. Then they go Vancouver, Seattle. They get a couple of wins there. They come home. Adams is gone. He's fired. That Calgary game probably put it to bed for him. But from that point on, they just rolled. They've been just a completely different team. And it's, it kind of leaves your head spinning to remember how down in the dumps this team was the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. And to watch them play now, and you're like, it's all the same players, but the teams are not the same. This is a completely different group, the way they play.
Well, Lindy Ruff, obviously, they've got the guys playing well. Thompson's having a good year. Ryan McLeod's having a fantastic season. And Josh Norris, man, if he stays healthy, He's a huge difference maker for that team. They added the two big guys in the back end. They also added Sam Carrick from the Rangers. What do you feel that they needed in Carrick?
Face-off wins. This team does not win any face-offs at all. And Carrick's, I had to look into these numbers after last night's game. Carrick's won almost 54% of his draws this season. Tyson Kozak's their leading face-off guy at 49.1%, with like 300 draws or something like that. It's nuts how this team just does not control the dot in big moments. And that's the kind of thing that drove Lindy Ruff crazy. If you can't possess the puck right away and you're defending right off the hop like that, it's just going to make your job a lot worse. And I know that face-offs are always kind of like joked upon or whatever, but it was a problem for this group. Like in all situations, it just couldn't win any draws. So Carrick's coming in to win those, whether it's on the PK or, defensive zone draws, probably defensive zone draws especially. But yeah, guy on the fourth line, win you some draws, get your possession game going, because these guys have the puck. They're way better, way more exciting of a team.
Well, yeah, like most teams, you get the puck and away you go. Ryan McLeod and Josh Norris, like when you look at their lines, Norris with Doan, McLeod plays mainly with Quinn and Zucker. Is that kind of what you foresee down the stretch and into the playoffs?
I do, yeah. There's a weird chemistry with Zucker and Quinn with McLeod because McLeod obviously has the speed, but Zucker's got kind of like those veteran wiles, and Quinn's a bit of a wild card because he's so streaky when it comes to goal scoring, but he's also really good at distributing the puck. And I think McLeod's been pretty good at that himself, but it's his, obviously it's McLeod's speed that puts everybody on their heels. They kind of have to pay attention to him, especially when he's killing penalties. We saw it against Pittsburgh last night where, puck jumps over Letang's stick and he's gone. It's as easy as that for him. And, you guys know that well up there. You saw it plenty. When it comes to Josh Norris, his comeback is such a difference maker for this group because he's a very fast skater. Loves to shoot the puck, can score goals by the tonnage. And he had 35 in Ottawa a few years ago, so he can score. But he does a lot of little things really well too. Like he can kill penalties. He's on their top power play unit because he can shoot it or he can pass it, and he helps drive that offense. And with Noah Ostlund and Josh Doan, you got Doan who's like a dog on a bone guy that just gets in, forechecks like crazy, gets in on the net, and then Ostlund is very defensively smart, but he's also really offensively creative. So it makes that a bit of a handful for other teams to try to wrangle because these guys all do the same kind of stuff really well, but they're all really like high skill. So it's a pain in the butt line for teams to defend. And the way Lindy uses them, like you want to ask which line's your number 2 line? Well, they both are. And then it's like, well, okay, which one's your number 3 line? Well, they both are. So pick your poison, who you want to match up against them. You're going to throw all your heavyweights against Thompson and Tuck, but good luck figuring out who you want to try to, hold down the most between the other 2 lines.
Joe Yurden joins us. Joe, they also in a late trade, they acquired Tanner Pearson from Winnipeg. Do you see him, does he fill out that fourth line with Mallenstein and Carrick? And does Zach Benson maybe find himself out of the lineup?
Benson's coming back from injury stuff. So, and honestly, Peyton Krebs kind of took his spot away on the top line with the way he's played so well. Krebs has been such a good utility knife guy for Lindy. Lindy loves the way he gets at it. So, very much a Lindy type player in Krebs. Benson's very much like that too, but he's really young. Yeah. And he's crazy that he's how young he is. He's been it's his 3rd season in the league. He's 20. So, but still, it's weird to say that he's raw because he's got so many games, but I mean, finding the right role for him. I don't know that necessarily the fourth line's the right role. So maybe Pearson spells that a little bit, but I think Pearson's like veteran depth help for them because, he's a guy who's won a cup just like Luke Shen has. And that's important for this group. This group is together, hasn't made the playoffs before. And there's a ton of guys in this room that have never been to the postseason. And, that first time in the playoffs, when you're there, it can be overwhelming. Like that is such a huge spot. And you need some guys that can kind of keep everybody locked in, keep it normal, and try to help guide them. I think that's really what Shen and Pearson are able to do, because they've been there, they've done that. Those guys have had like long careers and have done a lot of stuff. So I think that's an important role for them. If they're not playing, they're going to be helping them in the room. And if they are playing, well, they know what the role is. And I think that's important for this group to have, because a lot of their depth is really young guys. And, you know, if you get a guy that goes out of the lineup that's already young and you're putting an even younger guy in behind him, it can get shaky after that. In these, you know, the bright light of the playoffs, it's a first time thing for a lot of these guys once they get there.
Joe, one last one for you. Is Jordan Greenway, like, any chance he's back this year? Or is he done for sure?
It sounded, Jarmo was asked about that. It sounds like they haven't closed the door, but it sounds like it's going to be a little tough for him. Both him and Justin Danforth. Danforth has been out almost the entire season here with a lower body thing, leg injury. And, you know, with Greenway, it's mid-body hernia recovery type thing that he's had for going on 2 years now. He's been fighting it so bad, and boy, what a difference he would make in the playoffs having a guy like that out there. Man, it'll be a pain to see this team get to the playoffs, and if he can't go, but they want to be careful. They don't want to, hurt him even more long term. But I know like anything, he's going to try to work like crazy to try to get back. But it seems like Jarmo wanted to kind of like tamp down any expectations that he might be back right away, but it's going to be difficult. He's had such a hard time this year.
Okay. Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Well, Joe, enjoy the stretch drive, man. And I've said this now for a week. I think the best ticket in the NHL playoffs will be the first home game of the Sabres after 14 years without the playoffs. That's going to be an absolute madhouse that night in Buffalo.
I tell you, I've been thinking about that for a little bit, because you kind of have to wrap your head around the reality. This is probably a playoff team. And just the thought of that, what it's going to be like in the building and outside of it, because they're going to do the old party in the plaza thing. It's going to stretch for blocks here, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it should be awesome. Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
There you go. That's Joe Yerdon from Buffalo making lots of moves. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. You update it. We're still trying to find out. Nazam Kadri is going to the Colorado Avalanche. We don't know what the return is yet. And a few other late trades still trickling in. The hell's going on? But we'll find out next. And the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace install company for sailors, because they know the value of a warm port. And they sing, there was a ship who fought the cold, who sailed the sea with a furnace-y load. She brought the heat to YEG, and her name was Legacy. Through icy wind and winter squall, her fire she burned for one and all, with a comfort chugging guarantee, and her name was Legacy. No payments, no. Yep, no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. Don't trust just any ports in a winter storm. Trust Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
In like a lion or like a lamb, out like a goat. That's greatest offer of all time with Sherwood Honda. And while there's plenty of goats on the lot, you can also custom order yours. Pick your Honda model with the color, interior, trim, and technology for the ride you've always wanted. Sherwood Honda can help you build and price your new Honda to make it the greatest order of all time. Pre-ordering sure would be simple and satisfying with help from Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers' push to the playoffs is on, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings. You can play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Positive Friday, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday. Here's my funny line of the day, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Armstrong, the Blues GM, said, quote, "The Blues were disappointed with the trade leak with Parayko. He said the organization checked the phone call records, texts, and emails of staff, and everyone passed the test." Huh. Now, I'm just curious. Has any other team had a player who turned down a trade that went public for their and vetoed it with their no trade clause? Let me think. Now, if I had the Jeopardy music right now, I'd play it. Yeah, guess what? Yeah, there was another team, the St. Louis Blues and Torrey Krug. Like, are you serious? Do you expect us to believe this garbage? Name another team that it's happened to, Connor Halley, because I can't. Remember when Torrey Krug vetoed the Philly trade that leaked out? Yep. Now Colton Parayko. Like I said, has any other team had it happen? No. So, like, give me a break. Like, of course they're going to just lie publicly. I'm sorry. I don't buy it for a second. Oh, yeah, we checked all the phone records and emails and texts of everyone. Is every player, like, if you work for an organization, they give you a work form. Do you have your own private phone too? Like, first of all, give me a break. I don't buy that for 1 second at all. This is an organization thing. When it happens once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Not getting fooled by Connor Halley. Not buying it.
They really, like, That's just kind of a messy situation now for that whole St. Louis Blues organization.
Yeah.
Like to go like, oh, who did this? We're all trying to figure out who did this. Like that's messy. But we were saying that yesterday, right? Like this is just a really bad look for the St. Louis Blues.
So from what we understand, the sounds like the Kadri deal is Kadri and a 4th rounder to Colorado. Going to Calgary are Victor Olofsson. How about Oil Kings forward Max Curran, who's an unsigned draft pick, hell of a player, by the way, 20-year-old in the dub, really good player. Unfortunately, he's banged up, and I think his season's over. A conditional 2028 first-round pick and a conditional 2027 second round. And Calgary retains 20% of the salary. So there's the trade. Max Curran, Oil Kings player, pretty good player. So, but they don't they get a first, a second, and it's 1.4 million retained. So the Flames, they open up a lot of cap space. Now, obviously, most of that cap space is going to go right to Ryan Strome, who they acquired earlier. Right, Kadri he's got 3 years left at $7 million. The Flames will pay 1.4 of it. He'll be a 5.6 cap hit for the Colorado Avalanche moving forward. So there is the deal, and that's a pretty good trade for Colorado, man. Nazam, Kadri, we'll see. We'll see where that goes as well. Hey, Greg's, wasn't the Braden Shen one leaked? Yeah, but there's other guys like Mackenzie Wiegers came out, hey, the players still waiting on it. Usually, all those guys accept it because I think the conversations, I think you leak it out when you're the team because you're trying to put the pressure on the player who's maybe on the fence to not do it. And St. Louis, now, can anybody else think of one that was leaked that didn't end up happening? I'm sure there's another one, but I can't think of one recently. I can only think of the Blues. I'm sorry. That's the team. It's happened twice. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Over 15,000 vehicles free to choose from. I'm driving a Honda Pilot right now from Go Auto. Oh, fantastic. All the little things. You know how you have that rear view light or camera in the back and it gets dirty? Well, this one actually has it so when you want to spray, you can spray water on it to clean it. It's unbelievable. Small little details matter. You can get it at goauto.ca. And let's hear from Chris Knobloch talking about his new players, the expectations for Dickinson and Doc, and the strategy to get them in the game.
How do you expect to kind of work them in, or just let them go?
Let them go. I think their systems are very similar to what they were doing in Chicago, and I think they'll transition will be very seamless for them. I think it's important that we don't have much hockey left, and I don't think we want to hold them back at all.
Oh God, yeah, you're not holding them back. Let them go, man. Why not? Does he think Dickinson and Murphy need much time to pick up the penalty kill?
Penalty kill, very similar to what Chicago was doing. So it's not that it's a complete different penalty kill. We anticipate them on the kill tonight. We will be using both of those guys. Now there'll be some nuances that are a little bit different, but we feel the sooner the better getting them playing.
To me, Dickinson and Murphy they're half of the top penalty kill unit on the best penalty kill team in the league, and they run the same system as Edmonton. I am not waiting. I am getting them in on the penalty kill, and I'm using them a lot right off the hop in the penalty kill. These guys are veterans. They know how to penalty kill. It doesn't change. You just said the system's the same. So the only thing that changes is the guys you play with. So there's going to be timing issues. Fine. But how do you get over that? You play them, and you play them a lot. And that's what I would do. Matty Savoy playing really well. There's a guy who has benefited immensely from the break. He got refreshed. He also said that one game down in Bakersfield just kind of allowed him to knock some rust off right away, and he's come out of the gates flying. And he talks about Savoy And what does he think he's capable of moving forward?
Right now, obviously, this is the best that he's played, and no knock on him at all this year. I think he's been a very solid player, defensively responsible, creating some offense. There's times, stretches where maybe the offense wasn't quite there, but I think that break was good, the Olympic break, where he was able to recharge. I was having a conversation with him yesterday about the amount of games he had been playing, and he had brought up that he'd already played about as many games in February as he had played all of last year, which is a lot. So he felt that this break was good for him and was able to re-energize himself. And right now you just see him has another step, but also very confident with the puck.
Yeah, it's he's been really good, man. Very good. And when he asked about Dickinson, and like Dickinson talked about it, I love Dickinson's answer. He goes, man, when I can sense the frustration on the other side, like that's the juice and that's the mentality you got to have. And Oiler fans, can you think of the last Oiler player who said that? Man, what do you like about your role as a defensive checker? Oh, I love it when I can sense the frustration. No, you haven't, because I haven't asked anybody like that, because I haven't had anybody like that in a long time. So now it doesn't mean he's going to shut down everybody. He's never going to be on the ice for a goal against. Of course not. But Knobloch asked about Dickinson and just, his approach to playing defensively and the challenge against other teams' best players.
No, I think he's found a role. He's found a role in the NHL, and he's very good at it. And you can tell, when somebody's good at a job, they enjoy it. And I've seen him play some pretty good games lined up against McDavid, who's the hardest to check. So, I'm not surprised that is something that he takes a lot of pride in.
Very true. Now let's hear from Dickinson. And did he sense a trade was coming for himself?
Obviously, I'm well aware of the trajectory of Blackhawks and what they're trying to do and where I fit in their timeline. It maybe didn't align. So, I kind of knew in deep down that something could be happening. And Kyle was kind enough to be very upfront with me from the beginning that he said, it might happen, it might not. I don't know what to tell you right now. This is during the break. He's like, there's nothing to tell you right now, but just be prepared that anything could happen.
And something happened. And away we go. Now, how about the comfort level for him to come in here and knowing exactly what his role is going to be?
Yeah. It would suck to come in here and have them try to put me in a place that I won't have success. Thankfully, we are on the same page. I know what I'm good at. I know what my job is, and that's where my game excels. So I know what I got to do, and I'm going to go out and do it. And that's all they've asked of me.
Well, it's true. Like, come in here, he knows what he's good at. That's his role. Put players in a role to succeed. And here's the thing. Chris Knobloch better not be scared to play Dickinson in that role. Now, you're not going to limit McDavid and Draisaitl's minutes significantly, but you could limit their minutes against the other team's best lines, which allows your best players to play against the other team's second, third, and fourth lines. That's an advantage I want to take all day. So look tonight for Carolina, for instance. You know that Carolina's probably going to want to get the Stahl line out against McDavid's line at times. And I'm sure you want McDavid's line maybe out against the Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis line for sure. But if you say, you know what, we'll play Dickinson against the Aho line. And if McDavid's got to go out against Stahl, Martinook, and Ehlers, they'll do it. But then that means that Leon Draisaitl goes up against Logan Stankoven's line. Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake, both in their second year. You'll take that matchup all day. All day. Right? Like, you're not worried if Connor McDavid has to go up against Jordan Stahl. Jordan Stahl's a really good player. But it's Connor McDavid. He can play against anybody. But if I can get Dickinson to take even half of the shifts against Aho's line, or maybe you can get Draisaitl out against the Kotkaniemi line. Hello. Or McDavid a few shifts against them. Hello. That's where it becomes a mismatch. And that's what Chris Knobloch's going to have to do. You have to. You've got a really good defensive third-line center. So use it, especially on home ice. Use it to your advantage. You have to. Hey, Greg's is Doc in the lineup. I thought he already sent down. Great show, Rob in the Valley. No, he wasn't sent down. Szymanski was loaned But I could see Szymanski. He gets loaned to the Condors, and then he probably gets called back up from the Condors. Right? Now, they could just send him down if they wanted and go with 12 forwards for the time being. But remember, you have to be on the AHL roster before the trade deadline, and then you qualify for the playoffs. Now, Doc hasn't played in the minors all year long, so maybe they're not going to send him down. Maybe they're just going to keep him up, because I haven't seen any notes saying that he was reassigned yet. So I could double check that. I should probably check my phone just to double check. But Szymanski's being loaned to Bakersfield, and I think you could see him be coming back up, or maybe they'll just go with 12 for a bit. Although they're going on a road trip, and now it is to Vegas, so I have to look at the AHL. Do they want to get Szymanski in a game down there, and then he meets them in Vegas? That could happen. So we'll see. Or it's just a paper transaction. Either way, Doc has not been sent down. He will be in the lineup tonight wearing number 34. And we'll hear from the youngest new member of the Edmonton Oilers, Colton Dach, the local kid. We'll hear from him coming up in the next hour. But first, let's get to the comment and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Local Quality Market Gourmet Meals. 2 locations, Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Choose over 200 chef-prepared meals. If you're looking for great, healthy food, loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And the NHL trade deadline had come and gone. The Colorado Avalanche bringing back Nazam Kadri from the Flames for a first and second round pick, Victor Olofsson, and Oil King Max Curran. Also, Sabres acquiring Tanner Pearson from Winnipeg for a 7th round pick. Ryan Strome traded to the Calgary Flames with a 7th round pick from the Anaheim Ducks. Bobby McCann going to the Kraken for a 2027 third and 2026 4th. Scott Lawton going to the Kings for a 3rd round pick. And earlier today, Justin Falk going to Detroit for Justin Hall and a to-be-determined 1st round pick, as well as a 3rd from St. Louis. On the ice tonight, the Oilers are in action, taking on the Hurricanes. Puck drop just after 7. Pre-game coverage coming your way at 6 o'clock with Andrew Walker. Elsewhere, Panthers taking on the Red Wings. Stars host the Avs. Canucks meet the Blackhawks. Golden Knights host the Wild, and the Blues are in San Jose. In the association tonight, Knicks taking on the Nuggets. Suns host the Pelicans. Clippers in San Antonio, and the Lakers hosting the Pacers. BCHL this evening, the Saints out in BC taking on Trail. Puck drop at 8. Crusaders will host Brooks at 7. In the AJ, Devon hosting Drumheller. The Storm in Whiteport and Olds taking on Bonnyville. And U of A volleyball down at the Staples Center tonight. Pandas kick it off at 6 o'clock against Thompson Rivers. Golden Bears out in Vancouver taking on Trinity Western. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, former NHL co-host Wanye Gretz. We'll also hear the stat of the day. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Common thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Hey, hon,
I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images. It's your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Every goal, every Selly. The place to cheer on your favorite team is Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with all games on tons of big screens. And Selly's menu, top shelf. Plus, check out the game night food and drink features. And don't miss the excitement of Oilers watch parties all season long. Experience Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
That involved Nazam Kadri. If you're just joining us, Nazam Kadri has gone to the Colorado Avalanche from the Flames. The Flames retain $1.4 million. He'll be a $5.6 million cap hit in Colorado for the remainder of this year and the next 3 seasons. The Flames get a conditional first, a conditional second. They also get Victor Olofsson and unsigned draft prospect who is a member of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Max Curran, probably their best player, who's unfortunately injured. And I don't expect him to return this season. He's been out. He's got a shoulder ailment. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but you know what? Really good young player. And so that's who the Flames get. Olofsson, Curran, a first and a second rounder. So the Avs get better, man. There's no question about that. They get better. If there's one area of concern for me for the Avs, I don't love the size of their blue line. That would be it. So we shall see. Now, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text or email us. It's at Gregor@sports1440.ca. Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, it's tonight, Lotto Max. You can get in on that for 20 mil. We also have the Jason Gregor Show specials. You can check that out. We got some Oilers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Who do you like there? Some goal scores. Also, a big battle between the Avs and the Stars tonight. Now, Kadri, I don't expect is going to get there in time for that game tonight, but them, Montreal, who did very little today. A little surprised by that. So we'll see. You can get in on it, playalberta.ca, as we welcome in Wanye Gretz. Wanye, how you doing?
Did we do enough, Gregor? I'm worried. Did we do enough at the deadline?
Who knows? Some years people think a team does lots. Doesn't mean. I think the Oilers filled two glaring holes. To me, I thought the Oilers, they're one of the teams that improved the most from the deadline.
Okay.
And they're the team. Name a team that's been underachieving more than the Oilers through the first 3 quarters of the season.
Fair statement. I can't think of anyone.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where the Oilers, that's to me where I see lots of room for improvement. Like their defensive games has been in shambles. For lately, they had a 25-game stretch really good. First part of the season stunk. Now they're awful. So can they get back? They better. It's about a commitment. And if the Oilers commit, adding 2 guys who thrive and challenge themselves to be good defensively, that's exactly what this team needs. They needed a second pair right defender who could defend, and they needed a third-line center. Somebody that you can trust to play some tougher minutes at times so you can give McDavid and Draisaitl some easier minutes, better matchups. That in itself, I don't care how much Dickinson scores. If Dickinson takes 3 or 4 minutes away against top opposition every game, that means Draisaitl and McDavid, those 3 or 4 minutes that they normally play are going to go against some other players. That's a big win. That's a big win to me. So,
what's the letter grade you give the team for the trade deadline?
I'd say B+.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Feel a bit better. Trade deadlines are tricky things. You're never going to solve all your issues in one foul swoop, right?
Yeah.
But if you give it B+, I'll double stamp it.
The Oilers, hey, they're a good team. I don't shy away from saying the Oilers are a good team, but they're also a team that can be very frustrating because their commitment to defense wanes at times. And until they can and they've been good, like we saw it last year. Very first 2 games against LA, brutal. Now, luckily, they had enough skill to overcome it. Not a lot of teams can gift wrap the opposition 2 games. And it wasn't just a goalie. I know people like to, hold on to their goalie troll doll and be like, the goalie. It was the goalie because that makes me feel better. It wasn't just the goalie. Anybody who pays attention, how many high danger chances did you give up in those first 2 games? 26. How many did you give up in the next 4 games of the series? 26. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm no mathematician, but cutting down the high danger chances usually means you cut down your goals against. Pretty simple. And then Dallas and Vegas, they were unreal defensively. And then they got injured, Hyman, Ekholm, and they ran into a juggernaut of Florida who had everybody going, and they were the better team. They deserve to win. There's no debating that. So the Oilers, can you avoid health injuries? That would be nice. But more important, and here's my only concern about the Oilers' regular season, is if they don't finish first, and now you got to go on the road again, you're just adding more travel, more wear and tear on your body because you couldn't be consistent enough in the regular season. But the good news is they come down the stretch. There's 20 games to go. They're only 4 points back of Vegas. They play them 3 times, including this Sunday. So while you screwed up the first 60 games and laid an egg too often, it luckily hasn't hurt you that bad. So now you can regroup, get focused, and have a really good final quarter, and you can win the division. Right? And that's going to guarantee you at least 2 rounds at home because you're not going to get home ice advantage against anybody in the Pacific unless Utah shocks the world. And but Utah is probably going to have to play the way they're going. They might play the winner of the Pacific Division. So you know what? You're going to have to go on the road for the 3rd round and probably for the 4th round based on the point totals out there. But at least you get some series at home. And that's what, to me, that should be the number one focus of the Oilers here is a solid 20 games, get our defensive game back in order, and win games against Vegas. Has to be. Like, there's no other reason why it shouldn't be. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, barring injuries, being busy at the trade deadline means you've likely failed your drafting and development from IMAC. What? What are you talking about? Why can't you make 2 good moves at the deadline? How does that mean you failed your drafting? Did Florida fail drafting because they picked up Brad Marchand? Like, what are we talking about here? IMAC, I'm sorry. I completely disagree with that. So, if you make astute moves for your team at the deadline and it works, how's that? That has nothing to do with bad drafting and developing. Florida you know how many players on Florida were drafted when they won the Cup in each of those 2 years? How about 3? Barkov, Ekblad, Lundell. There's multiple ways to win. You don't even have to draft all your guys and keep them. Now, guess what? They got Tkachuk by trading him for 2 of your drafted players in Uyghur and Huberdeau. Right? You traded away a draft pick to get Reinhart. You traded away a draft pick to get Bennett. What are we talking about here? Doesn't mean it means you get good moves. Hey, I get NHL players. Drafting's a crapshoot. Not every player hits. It's impossible. So no, I could not disagree more with that. Could not disagree more. Hey, Gregor, have you heard what Sid Sixero said about the orders, McDavid, and the deals that Bowman made from Vitamin J? No, Jay, and why would I care? I don't think there's a bigger loudmouth who says very little than Sid Sixero. Sorry. About all I'll say about him. Like, he is not somebody that I would be like, oh, look what he had to say about the team. Right? The guy made a name for himself, and Oilers fans should just ignore him. But for you, Connor McDavid's coming to Toronto. Like, how many times can he say it and be wrong? And people are like, oh, yeah, but he said it again, and maybe it's going to happen. Like, get a thicker skin and don't feed the trolls. That's all I'd say. Hey, guys, I think the Oilers have to find out if Szymanski can handle the 4C spot. If the Oilers don't sign Dickinson, then someone needs to take that 3C spot. Yeah. The Oilers' focus right now is this year and winning the playoffs. You know what? They're not going to worry about Szymanski. Now, Szymanski has been sent down. He hasn't been recalled yet. So they could just send him down and have him play a game and join the team in Vegas. It's very possible. Right? Looking at the Condor schedule, that could happen. So we'll see. I think Josh Szymanski has had an incredible year of development. Fantastic year of development. In the American League, at the Olympics, in the NHL. Like, if you would have asked any of us when the Oilers came to camp in September, and you would have said, hey, Josh Szymanski's going to be one of the best players in the American League. He's going to end up coming up to Edmonton and not look overwhelmed at all, granted in limited minutes. And he's going to play in the Olympic team. I would have said, I wouldn't have even envisioned that. And I'm sure if you asked Josh, you might not have envisioned it. But he's had an unbelievable season. So I'd have no issue, honestly, if he continued playing the minors and had his confidence at sky high, playing big minutes, lots of situations, helping them win. I wouldn't have a problem with it. That's why I had said I thought there was a chance the Oilers might add a depth forward. Because right now it looks like Doc and Szymanski are your 12th and 13th forwards. It's not ideal because they're both on entry-level contracts. So Szymanski was sent down today. Haven't seen, because now you can't just do a paper transaction where you send the guy down, then you call him back up. And maybe that's what they're doing. Other teams have done it, right? It's totally legal on today. Today's the one day that you can actually send a player down and he doesn't have to play a game in the American League to recall him. So. Hey, guys, it's win now. We don't need to worry about picks that might not play for 7 years from Rayner. Well, yeah, 100%. Like, you look at Shane Malloy. I recommend, if you're a big fan of the draft, follow Shane on Twitter. It's very simple, Shane Malloy. He's got a really good show actually on Sirius on the weekends too. It's all about drafting. And the guy has studied it, all the numbers for years. So not just like, I'm picking like one team. You can't pick one team. You pick everybody. And you will see how difficult it is to find success. And all you have to do is look at a roster. So you have 23 players on the roster, right? You draft 7. Some years you draft 6 or 5. Some years you draft 8 or 9. Maybe there's the freak year, like some of the terrible teams. I think somebody's had 11 draft picks recently. Like I know way back when you used to have 11 rounds, so you had way more players picked. But so you draft those players. Most are 17 or 18. Now you get some who are 19 or 20, the odd European, right? Some guys even in CHL miss their first 2 drafts, so it happens. Now, outside of because I think a lot of people, when we think of the draft, and it's not a knock on anybody, but a lot of people think if you get drafted, like you're going to be an NHL player. And it's really not close to the truth. Now, if you're a top 10 pick, you got really good odds. If you're a bottom quarter of the first round, you got about a 36% chance. Still pretty good to play 250 NHL games, right? Because not just 1 or 2 games, right? Because I guess in theory, if you play a game in the NHL, you can say, I played in the NHL. It's not a lie. It's the truth. But it's not the same as somebody who played 100 games or 200 games or 1,000 games. But the draft, did you know, players in the NHL, highest percentage are first rounders, second highest percentage are second rounders. You know what the next highest percentage is? Undrafted players. Why? Because they draft too damn young. Right? Lots of guys develop later. Goaltenders, bigger defensemen, bigger forwards. Happens all the time. So, yeah, I wouldn't put that much focus on. Like the draft's important, don't get me wrong. I just can't overrate the importance of it. You need it, but you need it for different reasons. Not all, like maybe you can use those picks as assets to get other players. Maybe you can use those picks, develop them, and then trade them for other players. Or you just keep the pick, develop them. Hey, if you want an elite level player, usually you got to draft them. Right? Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, right? Nathan McKinnon, go down the list. Like I'm trying to think of the top scorers right now in the National Hockey League. Who's on a team that didn't draft them? McDavid, McKinnon, Kucherov, Draisaitl, Celebrini, Kaprizov. Who's in there? Scheifele, Boldy, Robertson, Marty Natchez. I guess he'd be the one. He got traded. Right? He'd be the one. Pasternak, Bouchard, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel. So 3 of the top 15 guys have been traded. Rantanen, Natchez, traded for each other. And Jack Eichel. So it's, then you go even deeper. Nick Suzuki, Tim Stützle, Tage Thompson, Wyatt Johnson. Right? Most guys, homegrown, the top end guys. So yeah, that's where you got to get them. But once you get a few, you don't need 8. You kind of need 3, right? 3 or 4, and away you roll. And that's what works. Coming up, we are later on. We're going to go to New York because the Islanders had a crazy day. They made some big trades, but they acquired Braden Shen from St. Louis, who makes $6.5 million for another 2 years, who's like an ideal third-line center. And then right after the trade deadline unofficially ended at 1:00, they announced that Pajot had been re-signed to 3 years at $4.85 million. So now they got Pajot, you got Shen, you got Bo Horvat, you got Matt Barzal. Are you going to play your fourth-line center? $4.85 million. One of them going to play the wing. And they also got Casey Zizekas. Like, they got a lot of depth. Good for them, but it's kind of a bit of an odd one. So we'll touch on that and more. Shane Willis joins us. We'll preview the Hurricanes next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here. If you've been waiting to get into a new or used vehicle, now is the time. This is a mega sale, plus the grand opening of our all-new Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No iPads, no patio sets, no trips to Vegas. Just a good deal. So stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a full warranty center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB, and we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at aws.ca. AWS Welding. Our welding keeps you working.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Awesome Friday, a little extra brass bonanza for you. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Friday. Oilers are taking on the Hurricanes. Even though there's not a real big rivalry, I'm sure for a certain era of the fan base, the sight of the Hurricanes always brings up a little angst from 2006. I get it. You never forget it. So, but let's be honest, this era of team, there's not a lot of animosity between the Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Rarely are there games overly fiery by any stretch of the imagination. They're fast. They're skilled. There's just not a lot of hatred between these two organizations. You only see each other twice a year. They haven't met in the playoffs in almost 20 years. So I think the fans maybe remember it more, but there's no player on the team from either team. So it's not really a rivalry on the ice.
It still burns deep within me. Every time we face them, I think about 06. And then I always make the joke, if they happen to win, but I can think of one more game I wish the Oilers had won rather than this one against Carolina.
Yeah,
and
true.
We all laugh.
Oh, yes. The Oilers, hey, if you could trade anything, they would do that one, or Game 7 against Florida, but that's why it's tough to win. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years and running as one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province, with project division, service division, testing division, and residential solar. They can help you out anywhere. actionelectrical.net. As a former NHLer, current analyst for the Hurricanes, Shane Willis joins us. And Shane, the Carolina Hurricanes made one move. They added a lot of grit and toughness up front. Were you surprised at all, or were you expecting kind of a quiet deadline for the Hurricanes?
Well, excited, one, to get Nick Delory into a Hurricanes jersey after seeing, the last couple of years what he does for the Philadelphia Flyers, and maybe an area that the Hurricanes lacked the past couple of years when you look at what they faced against the Florida Panthers and their toughness and size and strength and physicality in the playoffs. So extremely excited about the move they did make. A little bit surprised that there wasn't one, maybe two more moves for the Hurricanes, but when you listen to Eric Tulsky and something this organization has kind of prided themselves in is remaining very disciplined in the plan they have set out and not reaching for something that they don't really feel that is at the cost. And there was a lot of players traded over the past couple of days that I thought teams maybe overspent on when it comes to a prospect or the number of picks that were in a trade, or even the number of the draft pick being a first round pick of a guy you're going to put on your fourth line. So I think the Hurricanes remained disciplined and didn't overreach for something that maybe someone was trying to, fleece the covers for on them, because they believe in the young talents they have in Chicago. They believe in picks they have upcoming, and they kind of remain steadfast in that. As a fan, would I have liked to see maybe another move? Sure, because you're always trying to get better. You're always trying to improve when you make the march into the playoffs and trying to make a run at a Stanley Cup, without a doubt.
The Hurricanes have been one of the most consistent organizations for the last decade. They play hard, they play fast. They're very consistent and committed in how they play. You look at their team, and they made some moves this year. Of course, Keandre Miller has come in. Give me your thoughts on Alexander Nikishin, the big hulking defender, the rookie, and kind of how his whole season's gone for the Hurricanes.
He continues to grow. I think everyone expected this young man, and that's, the downfall for every player when you get hyped up in the media of coming in saying you're the best player that's going to, step into the NHL this year. It's a tough bill to fill, but Alex Nikishin continues to grow. And I think the Hurricanes, and really so many different teams in the NHL, the way they play and force their defensemen to be aggressive, to jump up in a place, for any young defenseman, that's hard to do. That's hard to commit to. And I think there are a few games where you see Alex Nikishin make those little mistakes because he's just a little bit hesitant. But I think as he continues to grow confidence, continues to believe in that, I really want to see his physicality continue to come to the forefront. I think he can utilize that more to slow the speed and strength of players in the National Hockey League. The offensive side, I think he thrives in, especially the way that Rod Brind'Amour allows his defensemen to play in the system. But it's still a growing phase. And now you have, coming up on 20 games left for the Carolina Hurricanes to build that game, to be that dynamic defenseman and offensive threat that you want in the playoffs from your defenseman, to put in a big goal, to make a big hit to be that impact type player. I think he's going to be that player, but I think he continues to grow to that level right now.
You look at this Hurricanes team, and, they got their top line, Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis. Now, their lines move around a little bit. Right now, they got Stankoven with Blake and Hall. And then, of course, that third line was Stahl and Martinook and Nikolai Ehlers. Do you think those three lines are, in an ideal world, how they want to run 1, 2, 3, or do you see some other guys moving in or out?
I do think they're dynamic right now, the way they're set up. And Trace and I had a long talk about this early in the year, and he was talking to former NHLer Paul Stastny before the season started, and asked Paul, knowing Nikolai Ehlers so well, where he thought he'd fit the best. He came in, he got put immediately with Sebastian Aho. It was a little bit of a slow start, but they started finding that chemistry. Then he moved down to play with Stankoven and Blake. They exploded out. He had points there. But Paul Stastny from day one said, I truly believe he will play best with Stahl and Martin. And it took Trip Tracy and I back a little bit because we looked at it and we're like, how is that going to work because of how dynamic he is offensively? But the size and strength of Martinook and Stahl and the simplicity of their game really bodes well for Nikolai Ehlers in holding on to pucks and being the playmaker on that line and creating space for both of them to be around the net and score goals. Taylor Hall is turning back into a 25-year-old Taylor Hall the way he's skating with these two kids, especially after the break. They've been shot out of a cannon, and that chemistry continues to grow. And then Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis, dynamic, obviously, with everything they have. Really a line that has every piece you want to be able to score offensively, play physical, and create offensive chances 5-on-5 and then on the power play. I love the setup right now. Then you have a player like Nick Laurier coming in where you can slot on your fourth line in a game that's really physical, or he comes out and you put Carrier and Robinson back on the wings to kind of anchor you there. So I like the setup of the lines right now, but every coach knows and every analyst knows there's going to be a small little cold spell at some point, and you're going to have to shake things up. And Rod Brindamore and Jeff Daniels have always been great chemists in moving one piece around to create some more chemistry, create that more offense to get the team rolling in the right direction.
Shane Willis joins us, analyst for the Carolina Hurricanes. And, you look at your division, and right now you got the Islanders and the Penguins and the Blue Jackets are battling out. You guys you're really the only team in the NHL who's comfortable in their playoff spot and is likely not to really change. The battle, I guess, is maybe for first in the East, but, the division looks pretty good. Give me your thoughts on Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Columbus, and which of those three you like better.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight to the end in the Metro Division. The downside is the bottom half of the division isn't very good. So I really think 5 teams from the Atlantic take the 2 wildcard positions. So you have to be in either 2 and 3. Over the past 2 days, I think the Islanders were the team that strengthened themselves the most when it comes to trades to solidify their position. When it comes to Pittsburgh and Columbus, Columbus adds Garland for a little bit more offense. They have some mojo and they're rolling in the right direction right now. The fear that the Penguins have is, how long is Sidney Crosby going to be in the locker room and not able to play? Does Evgeni Malkin get a couple games suspension for the slash last night? Those are the fears, I think, of Penguins fans, because they've played so well this season, but missing 2 pieces like that could be detrimental coming down the stretch. I kind of like Columbus of the outside spread getting to that 3rd position, and Pittsburgh kind of continuing to slide and falling out of the race.
Well, I was like, I know they got Soderblom, but I don't know. It didn't seem like the biggest move. Like the Islanders went out and they got Braden Shen, big move. I'm not sure I understand the Pajot extension after you get Braden Shen. It's like $11 million for 2 guys who are 3rd-line centers and both really good at it. But like the Islanders, because of Schaefer and more importantly, Sorokin, I like them to finish 2nd in the division.
Yeah, without a doubt. Schaefer is the real deal. I mean, so exciting to watch. I don't think he gets enough of a comparison to Cale Makar, maybe because he's not as flashy when he's skating up and down the ice. But offensively, he's been really strong defensively and very mature for a young player, especially as defense. But adding Braden Shen, I agree with you. The extension was a little bit strange for me as well. But does Braden Shen all of a sudden say, hey, I'm going to play the wing and not play center in those situations? And the Islanders definitely are making moves because the kryptonite for them the past few years has been the Carolina Hurricanes, and they haven't been able to get past them. The Hurricanes have had their number. So they went out and added pieces to kind of make that push. But I agree. I think they are a solid number 2. But you talk about being comfortable. The Hurricanes shouldn't be too comfortable because they're going to make a run. You don't want to see the Islanders start creeping up to where they're fighting you for first place. That home ice advantage is always huge, especially with the Islanders fans. So the Hurricanes need to continue on this road trip with a big win, hopefully here tonight against the Oilers, after what Rod Brindamore talked about in Vancouver, not a game that he really liked and how his team played for 60 minutes. I think you'll see a better effort tonight from the Hurricanes.
They're taking on the Oilers. Jordan Staal, one of the best third-line centers in the league, one of the best third lines with Martin and Ehlers. And it was Jason Dickinson, who the Oilers just acquired. It's something they've needed, was a third-line center that they can place. Not always, because McDavid and Draisaitl play enough that, it's not like they're going to never see the other team's top players. But if you have a third line that can take away 3-4 minutes a game from your top guys, and Sebastian Aho just frees him up to do other things. Dickinson had a very interesting comment, Shane, how he said, man, the thing I love about my job is when I can sense the other guys are frustrated. I got to think Staal has a very similar approach in, he gets his kind of a dopamine hit when he's shutting down the opposition.
Yeah, he does it so well. So consistent. I think if you ask any player in the Hurricanes locker room, describe Jordan Staal in one word, it's consistent. And it's a daily thing when he comes into work that he's going to lead by example. He voices his concerns in the locker room if they're needed, but he's such a great leader on the ice, the way he works, the way he competes, and it starts inside the faceoff circle. I think Dickinson's the guy the Oilers got to try and win more faceoffs and get that key puck possession time. Jordan Staal is that exact player for the Carolina Hurricanes, and he does that on a nightly basis. And he and Jordan Martinook and obviously Nikolai Ehlers enjoy shutting other teams' top lines down. It's a little harder for Rod to get the matchups he wants on the road, obviously. But Jordan Staal, the one asset that has come back to him, and we talk about players playing youthful, he's finding the back of the net this year. He's getting time on the power play, and that's a big piece of why the Hurricanes' power play has come back up now, too. He's been so good defensively, and now Rod Brindamore says, I need to win faceoffs in the power play and put that big body in front of the net. He's been finding success there, helping the Hurricanes' power play score big goals. And again, finding joy on both sides of the puck now this year by scoring goals and shutting down other teams' top line.
Shane, always great to catch up there, man. We'll see you at the rink. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it, sir. Have a good one.
There you go. That's Shane Willis from Carolina. The Hurricanes, they're obviously very good. And right now, you watch that second line right now with Stankoven, Blake, and Taylor Hall looks like he's healthy again, and he has been flying for the last few months for the Carolina Hurricanes. And then that third line, Staal will probably get a little bit of McDavid and Draisaitl tonight. Like this is, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing the Dickinson line match up against them. Like you're obviously going to get Dickinson against Sebastian Aho's line at times for sure. But tonight would be one of those nights where you'd probably rather say, hey, we'll go McDavid versus Aho, Draisaitl versus Stankoven, and Dickinson versus Staal. That's what you'd want tonight if you're if you have last change.
Interesting to hear old 25-year-old Taylor Hall is back on the ice again. Hey, we remember that guy.
Oh, hey, Hall was a lot better. I think he's one of those players that I think got a worse. Like the guy won a league MVP when he left Edmonton. He's a pretty damn good player. And, injuries have always been one of his, unfortunate parts that hold him back. But when Taylor Hall's in his game, he's still one of the most dynamic players in the league just because he's such a good skater. And he's reckless and that works for him and against him sometimes. But he can definitely move. Quick break. We will return. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440. We get to, we got the stat of the day. We got Craig Button. We'll hear more from the local guy, Colton Dock, here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
CanTorque has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at CanTorque.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Okay, how about you give us your star winger for a bag of pucks? What if I throw in some Will Hawk beef jerky?
Yourself a trade.
With Will Hawk Beef Jerky on their side, the Alberta teams definitely have an unfair advantage this trade deadline. Pick up some today and use it for trade leverage in your fantasy league.
No way, man. It's way too good.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win trades with salad.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Salvi Group is celebrating 50 years of building homes and communities, and we want to share the celebration with you. For a limited time during our 50/50 event, you'll enjoy 50% off select packages. That's special savings, select upgrades, and added value, all designed just for you. Build new or move in sooner at Hillshire. There's never been a better time to call Hillshire home. Celebrate with Salvi Group and enjoy 50 years, 50% off. Visit Hillshire today. Salvi Group, 50 years of craftsmanship, quality, and commitment.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:48. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Hanley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It is game day. And you know what? We got a pair of sweet seats we're going to give away, but we're going to play a fun little contest today. Very easy contest that will include Sports 1440 and our YouTube page. So this is what you're going to do. You can go to the YouTube page and you hit the subscribe button. When you hit the subscribe button, take a picture, screen capture it, send it in to us. And then we're going to pick somebody who has subscribed to our YouTube channel today. And by the way, these are great seats. Row 18 tonight. So was it Paul who donated them, Con Man?
It was, yes.
Yeah, so thanks, Paulie. So there you go. All right, so if you want to go to the game tonight, make Declan's day by hitting the subscribe button at the Sports 1440 YouTube page. So there you go. And then, everybody knows how to screen capture. It's pretty simple. You'll see it. Text it in 833-401-1440. We'll give people some time because maybe you're driving, you want to get home. Don't worry. We'll do the draw at 5 o'clock. So anybody in the next hour who hits the subscribe button, you can enter yourself in the draw. Pretty easy.
I'll even send them the link, Gregor, if they want.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, text in, Cons will send you the link, or you can just find it yourself at YouTube. So either way, pretty easy. So there you have it. Now, we mentioned young Colton Dach, who is going to play his first game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, from Fort Saskatchewan, has to be pretty fired up. Hey, you're in the NHL. That's a big deal. Then you get to play for your hometown team. Now, when I say hometown team, because there was no NHL team in his hometown, but it's the closest one, right? And it's fantastic. That's what you want. So here is, of course, pride of the Fort Saskatchewan, played for the Rangers, U15 and U18 teams. Then, of course, went to the WHL, played for the Blades and the Rockets, finished off with the Seattle Thunderbirds, played for Canada at the World Juniors. Right? People might, it's a pretty good player. Right? I couldn't believe, nothing gets my blood boiling more than ignorant people. And when this guy's a fringe NHLer. He's a rookie player. It's a second-round pick. He's in the NHL. He's already played 78 games. How can you call someone a fringe NHL player when they're just a rookie? You don't know how good he's going to be. I don't know how good he's going to be. Right? I try not to have unrealistic expectations. But when I see the size and the ability, this guy could, he could score. As I mentioned, he had 52 goals in his last 104 WHL games. Right? Played for Canada World Juniors. He's got some skill. Right? He's spent some time in the American League, parts of 2 seasons, which I think is great experience. And now he's in the NHL. And tonight he'll play his first game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And first, just talked about how he found out he was getting dealt.
Yeah, it was just at dinner. I started getting some texts from some guys I haven't really talked to it a little bit, and I was just there asking if it's true and checked Twitter, and then I got a few phone calls. So pretty crazy moment.
Oh God, yeah! All of a sudden, some buddies you having, hey man, you're coming home. That's now. And speaking of that, I do have a quote that I'm going to read from Bill Guerin about it. So interesting. And Doc just talked about the opportunity here for him in Edmonton.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm super excited to be here. I think just kind of try and bring some physicality, some energy, use my size to my advantage. I think knowing my game and just using my assets to my advantage.
Big guy, 6'4". I'll say this: the order when you go, if you're going to the game or you're watching the game tonight, you're going to look. So Stastny comes out of the lineup. Murphy comes in. It's a significant size difference, right? Doc comes in. Big guy, bigger than Lazar, who was, played in one of the last games. He's hurt. And Curtis Lazar is a decent-sized guy, but Doc's a big dude. Then you throw in Dickinson. They've added some size. They've obviously added speed in Dickinson. They've added physicality in Doc, and they've added defensive acumen in Murphy and Dickinson. Now, again, these guys aren't going to magically solve all the problems of the Oilers. Murphy and Dickinson should help on the D side, but it's going to come down to the Oilers' top guys, their top 2 lines, they got to be better defensively. The whole team does, right? Not just a few guys, the whole team does. But their top guys, on the ice for way too many goals against. lately. And just having more defensive conscious guys, I think that can spread. When you see the guy always on the right side of the puck and how he's playing, you're just like, all right, he can match that. Doc talked about just, you know what, he actually changed his Instagram picture. I noticed the Oilers tweeted that out, that he changed his Instagram picture to when he was a kid in his Oiler jersey. And he had the old, I don't even know what that one's called. The old blue one, the McFarland jersey. That's what I called. I'm sure there's a better name for it. Cons, you or Wanye, you guys are Jersey guys. Do you know what it's called? I just called it the McFarland.
That's what I always went by. Yeah,
that's
accurate.
Okay, perfect. And so he has a picture of him wearing that as a kid. So he just talked about joining the team he grew up cheering for.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think my mom and dad are, they were probably the two most excited people on the planet yesterday when they found out. So pretty crazy. We've been coming to games since I don't even remember how old I was, but it's a pretty surreal moment.
Gregor, I like to freak out, put the cart before the horse, that sort of thing about players. Am I wrong in thinking that Doc has the potential to be very popular if he starts running around out there?
Well, Edmonton fans, they've always, obviously they respect the high end skill because they've been spoiled really from the Gretzky and Messier and Anderson and Curry and Coffee days, and even Doug Weight, pretty skilled player, and Chris Pronger for 1 year, but obviously McDavid and Draisaitl now, like it's ridiculous. But there's always been a strong percentage of Oilers fans who just respect the guys who work hard, right? You don't have to be and you know what? It's kind of a blue collar mentality. So yeah, if you have a player who can go around and be physical and ignite the crowd, Zach Kassian's the most easy recent example. Lots of Oilers fans hated Kassian. Like when he basically took his stick and broke Gagne's jaw, and then he chirped the bench later when he returned, right? Like Oilers fans hated him. And then all of a sudden Zach Kassian comes on their team. He's got the mutton chops and he's running around and he's hitting everybody. And then he scores that. Remember that first they scored the goal and he's up to the behind the net with the fan and they're staring at each other and people are like, oh my God, this guy's intense. And he's having big hits. He was unreal that year in the playoffs. And then of course the reigniting the Battle of Alberta, going after Kachuk. And so you can have, that's a guy that you despise. And then they're like, no Oilers fans really despise Doc. He's done nothing to make him despise him. So I'm not saying I don't know if he has the wild side of, well, definitely not off the ice, but I don't think he has even that crazy kind of side on the ice, but he can bring it. And yeah, fans will respect that for sure because the Oilers kind of lack it. Like having a banging, aggressive fourth line guy who has a conscience in his own zone, if chips in the odd goal here or there, yeah, I think he'll be a popular player.
What's a reasonable outlook for him before we put unreasonable pressure?
Like I said, man, he's a rookie. So I would say realistic is he might not be an every night player in the playoffs because he's a rookie. He might be, but he might not be, and that's okay because he's a rookie. And I would say Doc's, best potential is probably to be, a third line winger down the road, right? A big body, chip in some goals and be very aggressive for you. That would be the ideal for him. Like, you know what? Maybe a Jordan Greenway, right? If he could become a player like that for the Edmonton Oilers, and Greenway, because Greenway had the skill and the ability, it was his consistency, right? But he scored, double-digit goals 3 times in his career, battled some injuries, so obviously you'd want to stay healthier than he has. But that's kind of what I look at. Like, he was a second-rounder, like late 50s, I think. Doc was a second rounder, like 62nd, something like that. So I would say a Jordan Greenway. I always try to have like a realistic comparison. I'd love him to be higher, but if he could be that, that's a solid NHL player. Greenway's played, I think, 500 NHL games. So yeah, that would be unreal for him. And Doc had one final comment just on the physical side of his game and, how that helps him.
For me, I think a lot of it's probably in the forecheck, trying to wear defensemen down. I think if you get on them early enough in the game, they're not really going to be wanting to go back for pucks, trying to wear them down. When there's a chance to make a big hit, you make a big hit, you follow through with it, and just kind of use my size.
Hey, Gregor, if Nurse's nickname is Doc, what are they going to call Colton? From Dave Q. I'm going to guess Docker. I'm just going to go on a limb here. You know how those hockey nicknames are. So, you get the odd one like Doc from Nurse, sure. But yeah, probably Docker. I'm just going to guess. I have no idea. But that would be my initial guess on that one. Coming up in the next hour, Craig Button is going to join us and more as we get to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here's the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Tires, wheels, oil change, vehicle repair. They do it all. One-stop shop, fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The NHL trade deadline is come and gone. The Avs bringing back Nazam from the Flames for a first, second. Victor Olofsson and Oil King Max Brand. The Sabres acquiring Tanner Pearson from Winnipeg for a 7th-round pick, while Ryan Strome was traded to the Flames from the Ducks for a 2027 7th-rounder. Also, Scott Law to the Kings for a 3rd-round pick. Justin Falk traded to Detroit for a 1st and a 3rd, St. Louis, as well as Justin Cole. Also, Braden Shen to the Islanders for a 2026 1st, 3rd, Jonathan Drouin and Marcus Gidlaw. And earlier today, Corey Perry heading to Tampa from LA for a 2028 2nd-round pick. On the ice tonight, the Oilers taking on the Hurricanes. Puck drop just after 7. Pre-game coverage with Andrew Walker gets going at 6 right here on Sports 1440. He's also got the Panthers and the Red Wings. Stars host the Avs. Canucks taking on the Blackhawks. Ducks, Canadians, Wild, Golden Knights, and the Sharks hosting the St. Louis Blues in the association. Mavericks head to Boston. The Hornets will host the Heat. Pelicans taking on the Suns, Clippers, and the Spurs meeting San Antonio, and the Lakers up against the Pacers. In the BCHL, the Saints on the road in Trail. Puck drop 8 o'clock. Crusaders hosting Brooks at 7. In the AJ, we've got Devon hosting from Heller. Storm head to Whitecourt and Olds in Bonnyville. U of A volleyball down to the Saddle Center. It is Canada West Final Four action. Pandas get going at 6 o'clock against Thompson Rivers. The Bears out in Vancouver taking on Trinity Western. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we're joined by Stefan Rosner to look at the New York Islanders. Craig Button from the NHL on TSN joins us to recap the trade deadline, and we'll get to another edition of 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
For the first time in 66 years, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey are on the move. During the 2026-27 Canada West season, 2 of the most successful hockey programs in U Sports history will call Silent Ice Center in Nisku their temporary home. The Golden Bears and Pandas are excited to connect with the South Edmonton community and welcome new fans to experience the tradition and excitement of U of A hockey. Same tradition, new temporary home. Golden Bears and Pandas hockey at Silent Ice Center for the 26-27 season.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7.
He's on, how are UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots.
Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors, professional athletes, kids playing soccer, to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears, and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Fridays. We make our way through. It's been a busy day. We should probably recap for those of you that have lives and you got to work all day, which, kudos to you, right? Not just get to play around and hit refresh all day on the trade deadline tracker, but we should probably update it for you if you missed some of the deals today. But one of the biggest ones came down later. Nazam Kadri is now a member of the Avalanche. Victor Olofsson, Maximilian Curran, of course, plays for the Edmonton Oil Kings. He's out with an injury. He's probably done for the year. And then a first rounder in 2028 and a second rounder in 2027 going to the Flames. He also had the Blues trading Braden Shen to the Islanders for Jonathan Drouin, a first and a third rounder, and then a goalie prospect in Marcus Gidloff. So I'm not sure if that's just a roster number or not. Tanner Pearson was traded late in the day to the Sabres for a seventh rounder going to Winnipeg. The Sharks traded Timothy Liljegren to the Capitals. So the Caps did trade John Carlson very early this morning. If you missed it, to the Ducks. And then they wanted to get Liljegren back to try to see if they can stay in the race in the Eastern Conference. The Detroit Red Wings landed Justin Falk. Going to the Blues, Justin Holl, as well as Dmitry Buchelnikov, and then a first rounder in 26 and a third rounder in 26. So those are some of the bigger deals, and we can get you to probably I can run down all the other trades in a bit, but there's a lot. The Islanders, of course, I mentioned the Shen trade, which is a big one, and we will get to our trade report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. And not only did they make a trade, they made an interesting signing. We'll get to that in a second. But from the Hockey News and NHL.com, beat writer for the New York Islanders, Stephen Rosner joins us. And Stephen, busy day for you, my man. The Islanders, they got a lot of third line centers now, and gritty guys. Braden Shen comes in. They lock up Pajot for 3 more years. Those two combined are over $11 million. And with Cizikas, not to mention Horvat and Barzell, which center do you think is going to move to the wing?
Yeah, I think right now Matthew Darsh, we just spoke with him about a half an hour ago, and he says the plan is to start Shen at center. I think you'll see Callum Ritchie, who the Islanders got in the Brock Nelson deadline deal last year. He'll go to the wing, but the great thing for the Islanders is, one, you can have too many centers, and now they can have the ability to mix and match in games, on face-off, D-zone, all those things. So, yes, I think Shen will start at the middle, Ritchie will go to the wing, but they have a lot of flexibility with their lineup right now.
Yeah, now the Islanders have been playing, pretty well as of late. They're in a dogfight. The Penguins, You got Columbus nipping at their heels a little bit. And I like the fact that they went out there and, sent a message to their team that, hey, we feel that we're now in a window to be a competitive team, because Schenn isn't just a rental. He's got multi-years left on the deal. What was your initial reaction when you saw the trade?
My initial reaction was, this is probably not good news for Jean-Gabriel Pageau. The original deal did not have Jonathan Drouin going back the other way. It was just Hicks and a prospect going back. So you're thinking maybe the Islanders talked to Pageau. They couldn't come to an extension. You got Schenn as a security blanket, and you go through the rest of the year. But once you learn the entire deal and you saw that Jonathan Drouin, who had gone no goals in his last 38 games, had no confidence, was going back the other way. He was on a first year of a 2-year deal worth $4 million annually. They said, okay, the money works. And you look at Schenn, you kind of look at his game, and Matthew Darts talked about the snarl. Face-off is 52%, and ability to fight. All those things that Darts wants in a playoff push in the playoffs. A guy that stands up for his teammates, a guy that has performed in the playoffs. So I think as more information came out, you started to say, okay, this makes a lot more sense. Now, again, Schenn's a guy that's going to fit in. We don't know where exactly in the lineup, how the lines are going to operate. But yeah, I think Darts wanted to reward his team. That was clear a couple of weeks ago. And the last 2 games against Anaheim and LA on this 4-game road trip to start the 2 games, the Islanders looked terrible. They looked jet lagged, and you thought, I wonder how this impacts them. I wonder how much Darts maybe says, you know what, I don't want to go out. Maybe I'll find a cheaper deal. But the money works. Darts is a guy that really understands the cap. He saw this as a way to unload some cap with Drew and have money for the summer. But also, he didn't want a rental. Darts said, I don't want to do rentals, and said, Schenn is excited for now, but also this kind of is a gap, a bridge to when the Islanders have prospects that are ready to turn pro and get them into the system. So all in all, yes, the Islanders definitely wanted to add a top 6 forward. Matthew Darts said they kicked tires on a handful of guys that just couldn't get a deal done. But I think it's a really smart move. It allows them flexibility, and you get a really good player who also knows a couple of these guys, Barzal, Horvat. So I think it's a great move. I think the market for top 6 forwards is really tough, astronomical prices. You look at Kadri, you look at Thomas. So overall, for Darts' first ever deadline as a GM, I think it's a solid one. Now we just have to see if it pays off.
And Braden Schenn won't have to wait long to face his former teammates. The Islanders are in San Jose tomorrow, and then they are in St. Louis next Tuesday. And I know some players, it depends. It's like, man, I want to get it over with. And others like, God, I don't want to do it right away. It can be tough. But, they've got 2 games in their next 7 days. Like it's an ideal time to bring in some players to have a little bit of practice time for him to get acclimatized to the team.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's really important. Also, they were staying at the same hotel as the Blues, so it was a quick walk for Braden Schenn to go find Darts and Matt Martin and the whole team and get acclimated. But it sounds like he knows these guys. And I think the good thing about Schenn is he's a smart hockey player. Most centers are, obviously, with the IQ, but I think he's going to fit in seamlessly. I think he understands exactly what the Islanders want from him, get on the forward check, playmaker, things like that. But I think the other key here is, Callum Ritchie, like I talked about before, the Islanders got in the Brock Nelson deal. He's kind of struggled a little bit as of late. And if you're going to put Ritchie on a line with Schenn, I think it helps so much learning about the face, taking that face-off pressure off of him and just learning what it means to be a pro and bringing in a winner. So I think that benefits Ritchie, and I think it's going to benefit the entire lineup. You mentioned Matthew Schaefer and this window to win. It's changed. Maybe I think Darts really wants to try to, become a cup contender over the course of his 3-year ELC, and a guy like Schenn certainly helps. I don't think the Islanders are contenders with Schenn deal, but I think it's a key acquisition. I think he's going to fit in seamlessly.
Steven Rosner joins us talking the Islanders, of course, their big move today as they acquire Schenn. Kyle Palmieri, Pierre Engvall, Alexander Romanov. They're all on LTIR. Same with Varlamov. Are any of them eligible for the playoffs? Anything expected before the playoffs?
So we had first been told that Alexander Romanov for shoulder surgery was going to be out until the mid-round of the playoffs. But I asked Darkington, is there any updates? Because when we were on Long Island, he was skating every day, and Dark actually said the timelines moved up, and there's a chance that he might be ready for the start of the playoffs. That's tremendous for this team. You're wondering maybe they would go and try to get a defenseman just in case, because Carson Ceci, he is what he is. I think he struggled a bit coming over from the New York Rangers, but the fact that Romanov could be back for the start of the playoffs kind of changes everything. Yes, you have the new cap rule where your roster's got to be compliant at $6.25 million you have to fit, but it sounds like Romanov's going to be ready. Palmieri is 20 ACL, he's done, Engvall had hip surgery and ankle surgery. He's done, and then I asked about Varley, and while Varley is working his way back, he's still not ready to get into games or practices yet, so they don't expect him back this year. But yeah, for getting Romanov back, especially healthy, you don't want to rush it, but he's a physical presence. He brings that snarl that Patrick Waugh loved and Matthew Darks loved. That's why he got that long-term extension. So that'd be great if the Islanders could get Romanov back at the start of the playoffs, if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, so if they make it, you got Schaefer and Pulak right now. You got Pelech and D'Angelo, Soucy and Mayfield. If Romanov's ready, which of those 6 D-men comes out?
Yeah, Soucy's going to come out. I think Romanov really struggled to start this year, and he dealt with a couple of injuries early on, not excusing, his struggles in his play, but Romanov became the third-pairing defenseman. That's in large part to Matthew Schaefer just catapulting himself up the depth chart. But yeah, Romanov did put up Mayfield before he got hurt. So Soucy, I think, would come out and be that extra defenseman, not a bad extra defenseman to have. And then for Romanov, too, you don't want to throw him into the fire. Let him play with Mayfield, play a simplified game, things like that. But yeah, definitely Soucy would come out, Romanov would come in. Schaefer and Pulak have been fantastic. And you got to give Tony DeAngelo credit. He's been fantastic as well in his first full year with the Islanders. Adam Pelech looks like the Adam Pelech we saw a couple of years ago where he's just a shutdown machine. So the Islanders D definitely gets better when Romanov back in, especially a healthy Romanov.
Looking now that the Islanders, the roster's set, they know where they're at. Sorokin's played great. Bo Horvat, I think they got a lot of guys contributing to that team. You mentioned that, maybe coach didn't love their most recent games here against the Ducks and the Kings, which resulted in back-to-back losses. But the Islanders, for the most part, haven't had a funk here. It's only 2 games. But what do you think's the key for them now when they get back to the Sharks tomorrow night? What do they have to do to get back on the winning track as Columbus just keeps winning?
Yeah, they just got to get the breakout going. It's something they practiced a lot post the Olympics. Every practice they were doing their breakout, and they've just been out of sync. Now, again, getting a high IQ center in a Braden Shen, and like I said, Callum Ritchie was struggling. Maybe that helps. I think they were just a little too passive. They were not connecting their plays. They weren't getting pucks deep. So if the Islanders can break the puck out, they're one of the best transitioning teams in the league. But they're also physically one of the worst breakout teams in the league. So if they can figure out their breakout, forget the power play. I mean, that has to be much better if they want to give themselves a true chance to go on a run. But yeah, it starts with the breakouts. Too early in these games, they're out of sync. The other team gets up a couple of goals. The Islanders were working their way back from down 2 goals, down 0-2, and I think their first 3 games back from the break. They were down 2 goals in these last 2 games and couldn't come back. So key starts, strong starts, but it starts in the defensive zone and breaking that puck out.
Okay. Stephen, really appreciate your time, man, on a busy day. So thanks for this, and we will watch from interest. The Islanders, I think, definitely did more than the Pittsburgh Penguins today, and we'll see if it's enough as they battle. And Columbus also trying to get themselves in the mix. Even Washington, although they gave up Carlson, they did go out and make that trade late with San Jose to get Liljegren. So I guess they're not completely throwing up the flag yet. So we'll see how it goes. Should be a fun race. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great one.
Stephen Rosner joining us from Long Island. And so Braden Shen, if you look at their center depth, you're going to play Barzell on the wing, then they got their centers for the next few years. You've got Bo Horvat, you got Braden Shen, you got Pajot, you got Cizikas. They signed Pajot to a 3-year extension, $4.875. They love him there. Pretty big ticket for a guy who doesn't score that much anymore, but he's very good on draws, very good penalty killer, good on faceoffs. Chips in and up. He's probably going to score his 17, 18 goals. So I guess as a third liner, that's actually pretty damn good now that I say that. So he's been pretty consistent. Like I know the one year he had 24. That was obviously kind of the outlier of his career, but he's had a lot of 18s and 19s, 14 goals. So been pretty damn consistent. So he just signed that deal. He'll be, he's 33 so 33, 34, 35. So it's not really against the cap. Their one big extension, obviously, in 2 years will be the youngster, Matthew Schaefer. But his new deal won't kick in until the final year of Pajot's deal. So by then, God, who knows what the cap will be. Although will teams be spending to the cap? I think you're going to see a little change next year, NHL fans. It's up to 104. I think you'd be surprised. I don't think the Edmonton Oilers are going to be a $104 million cap team next year when the season. I think they're going to be $3 to $4 million below. So they got a lot of cap space. They got to sign guys like Kapanen, who hasn't played enough to really get a big raise. They have to sign Roslovic, who no one signed him last summer. He's had a really good year, but they got him for 1.5. So Are you going to go huge on him? Probably not. Then there's Dickinson and Murphy. None of those guys, I think, are going to command huge dollars. So the Oilers should be in a decent position cap-wise next year. We will take a break. Craig Button will come back, and we will recap the trade deadline today, but also this week. Who do we like? Who maybe surprised us, good or bad, on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Oil Kings hockey at Rogers Place is family fun that's second to none. And this Sunday afternoon, the team gives back to you.
The Fan Appreciation Game is back, one of the biggest games of the season.
Fans in attendance receive a scratch and win ticket with thousands of instant win prizes up for grabs.
Plus, all the Family Fun Sunday face painting, bouncy castles, and Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Prince Albert Raiders, Fan Appreciation Game. Family fun Sunday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
The Price is Right Live is coming to Canada, and The Brick is a proud sponsor. Come on down to The Brick to win big this Saturday, March 7th from noon to 2. Join us at The Brick South Edmonton Common for your chance to instantly win from over $25,000 in prizes, including brick shopping sprees, TVs, Oilers tickets, and so much more. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See in-store for contest details and exclusions. So come on down to The Brick South Edmonton Common this Saturday.
When it comes to sports in Edmonton, Jason Gregor is a must-listen. He brings you the inside scoop with guests from across North America. If it matters in sports, you'll hear it here first. Gregor rolls out weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports 1440.
Mission Island Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks, including a special dispersal of 3 unused 2024 Kenworth T880 tandem cab and chassis trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Any project, commercial or residential, when you need metal and you want it cut or bent fast, this is the place. Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory, amazing service, and free parking. Free. That's a pretty big deal when you're saving up for something special. Yep, only 3 more payments and this bad boy's mine. And the 1, and the 2, and Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for. And maybe a little polka too. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Mission Island Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved equipment auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, dozers, digger derrick, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal, from pot lights to electrical panels. The gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
4:23 as we roll through. Pause the Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Busy day. And we got about a half an hour left. So if you want to go to the game tonight, we got a pair of sweet seats, row 18. It's a very fun, easy contest for you. All you have to do is go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and then take a screen capture of it and text it in 833-401-1440. Connor will get them all, then somebody's going to win. These are great. See, think about that. For your odds, it could cost you nothing other than a little bit of time. Not too long. And you get to subscribe to your favorite sports station's YouTube. So there you go. Thank you very much. If you want to win your chance, sweet seats, row 18. You can see Doc. You can see Dickinson, Murphy, and those other guys, McDavid or Draisaitl, if they interest you with their skill level or not. So there you go. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, as it's time now to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Summit Restaurant in the heart of Silent Ice Center. Looking a great place to eat, just a minute south of Edmonton Common. Get your destination for exceptional house-made pizzas, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. And hey, also a great place to watch a concert, curling, and hockey. It is a Summit Restaurant right in the heart of Silent Ice Center. We ate there last week. Oh, so good. Like, really good. As we welcome in from TSN, former NHL GM and scout, Craig Button. Butts, how you doing?
I am very good, Jason. How are you doing today?
Hey, you know what? I'm really good. I'll give you a pat on the back. Someone said on our very show, hey, you know what? Because we were talking about needs for the Oilers. I'm like, they need a defense, they need a center. You're like, yeah, just get Murphy and Dickinson. And you pretty much nailed that one. So they got them both in different trades. But what'd you make of the Oilers' moves?
Yeah, I thought Stan Bowman said it best. And he said, I like our team a lot better now than I did before we made those moves. And there's every reason to like the team more. Jake Wallman was acquired last year. And I thought Jake played really well in the playoffs. We know he was injured, but it just didn't seem to be a comfortable fit for him playing on the offside with Darnell Nurse. It didn't seem to get the best out of Darnell Nurse. So you're trying to stabilize that part of your blue line. And I think Connor Murphy is just a steady, capable, smart, competitive player. And I think that's the type of player that can not only benefit Nurse, but if you want to play him there, but it also gets Wallman out of a spot where maybe he's not comfortable and he's not at his best. And that's a step forward now in trying to improve your blue line. Third line center, Jason Dickinson's competitive. He takes face-offs, kills penalties. I call it sneaky chip-in offense because he's got that. And he fits the DNA of the Oilers with respect to his speed and his skating. So grinding up in that spot. I know he can play the third line center spot, but I want him up the lineup. And I think weaken yourself in different areas when you take Ryan out of that top end. We know how versatile he is. We know how capable he is to move around the lineup. Well, now you don't have to do that with him. And I think you get more players. Adam Henrique moves down. Adam's still a real smart, competitive player. Skating isn't the same. So now he's got less on him. So quickly, you go through what the additions mean. It's not just what those particular players bring and how they play. It's how their fit into certain areas extends to other players, and by that extension to the team. And I think that's why Stan Bowman likes his team a lot better now than he did before he made his moves. And I think it helps the Oilers. I really do.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Were you surprised the Montreal Canadiens did nothing nearing the deadline? I know they got filled in a while back, but they did nothing leading up to the deadline. That surprised you?
Yeah, what's interesting for me, Jason, and I was in San Jose doing the Montreal game on Tuesday, and they ended up losing that game 7-5 empty net goal. But the mood, the tone around the team, and I'm talking from a media point of view, and they have a good contingent of media follow the team. Was, they don't have to do anything, or why would they do anything? And they're not just going willy-nilly. I mean, they got a feel for what's going on. And I remember sitting there, and I just listened. to that tone and the narrative. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, like I'm not saying you go out, be willy-nilly or you do something silly, but you know, you can improve your team, and you can improve your team in certain areas. A bulky, rangy defenseman, and or try to get a little bit heavier forward that can come in and help your team. And the idea that, like, well, our window's not there, how good they're going to be in a few years. I mean, they're a team that's one of the top points teams in the Eastern Conference. Why wouldn't you try to take advantage of something? And, you know, for an example, Logan Stanley, and I'm just using him as a, like, look at what he went for. You're telling me that that's too big of a price for the Montreal Canadiens to pay? I don't think it is. But it seemed like this tone around the team, well, they don't have to do anything. Oh, they're going to be so good. There's different opportunities that present themselves based on how your team is playing. I think Montreal might have, let's put it this way, might have been less eager to look at this as an opportunity that they could move their team forward.
I was a little surprised. And you know what? They're not. I was surprised more, Craig, because the Blue Jackets are rolling and they added Garland. And, you know, the Boston Bruins are only 2 points back of them. You know, the Ottawa Senators finally have some average goaltending, and look what's happening, right? They're winning lots of games. Yep. So, like, there's still a quarter of the season left. Like, they're not that safe in it if all of a sudden they go into a little bit of a funk here. So that's why I was surprised they didn't do anything. So we'll see how.
And you're exactly right. And don't forget about Buffalo.
Oh, they're.
So I talked about Logan Stanley, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, now you might be playing against them. And, like, so the steps they took last year, where they find themselves this year, and your point is so good, about a quarter of the season left, and they don't have this large cushion there. And now other teams around them, Detroit got better, in my view, getting Dustin Falk. We talked about Buffalo, you know, Boston's pushing. And again, now you're sitting there in a spot, like, it's not that their spot is precarious, but you want to go in the first round?
Yeah. Hey, you want to get in for some of these teams. Man, Buffalo's looking really good. I like that trade for them. Logan, you know, Schen's your number 7 now. That's a pretty good just fallback piece for him. Be good in the room. But, man, Logan Stanley, that top 4 in Buffalo is really good. And now you got Stanley and Kesselring as your third pair. Like, I like Buffalo a lot, Craig. Like, quite a bit.
I do, too. Yeah, well, and you think about, you know, how you know, we talked about size and the ice shrinking and time being a little bit, you know, less come playoff time. Well, a guy like Logan Stanley and Kesselring on your bottom pair, you're never sitting on the bench as an opponent going, okay, we're going to get a little bit of a breather on our next shift. Every shift is going to be hard. Every shift is going to demand and take something out of you. And I don't. Montreal doesn't have that. They got Caden Dooley, who's a really good defenseman, playing left shot, playing the offside. I don't think that's the best place to use them. And then you got kind of a rotating with Carrier, Struble, and Jack-Eye playing in your bottom pair. And defensively, they're not good. They're not a good defensive team. And I think, like, they traded for when Tampa Bay traded for David Savard a couple of years ago, I helped them win a cup. Montreal had him. I thought that he was a really good piece for them. They need that type of a player, and so they're vulnerable. And I'm not saying that they're not good enough to be in the playoffs or to win around, but they're way more vulnerable than me and you think they should be.
Craig Button from TSN joins us. Craig, it came late, but the Colorado Avalanche got Nazam Kadri. They gave up a first. They gave up a second. They gave up Max Kern, who's playing for the Oil Kings, but unfortunately he's probably done for the year with the shoulder injury. And, Olofsson just to try to make some money work. What do you make of that? Like, does that make the Avs the clear favorite in the West for you?
I don't think. Well, a team that has stood alone, well, maybe not still alone, but stood atop the West, the entire National Hockey League this year, I don't think there's any question. They made their team a whole lot better. So we see Okay, Dallas goes and makes a trade for Tyler Myers. They get Bunting. We see what the Minnesota Wild have done, and I'm going right to the Central Division, and they're chasing Colorado. And to me, it's like the Roadrunner and the Coyote. Like the Coyote thinks it's getting close, and then Colorado goes, no, here's what we're doing. I think Chris McFarland just kept saying, wait a sec, I'm not resting on my laurels. We got Kulak, we got Nikolai. Well, we're going to find out if we can get Kadri. And teams, and Carolina comes to mind, Montreal, as you just mentioned, like, do you think opportunities are always going to be the same each year? I don't think they are. And so when you're a good team like Carolina, when you're a pretty good team like Montreal, and you miss these opportunities, and then you watch what the Colorado Avalanche do and said, we're going to take every advantage of our opportunity. I think that is the demarcation line between being bold and pushing and a team that, we'll wait for next year. Next year sometimes never comes.
Oh, God, 100% on that one. The Boston Bruins, what do you make of their decision to do nothing?
Yeah, I like it. It feels to me like the Bruins, are content with their season. I guess that's the way I would put it. Last year they weren't content. They went a different direction. It feels like, okay, if they make it, it's been a good year. I just sense that Boston has had this really positive rebound of a year after last season. And they have some really good prospects that are ready to move forward, and are they ready to come in and really contribute in a big way? Maybe, maybe not. Well, yeah, you always have to wait to see about that. But that's my sense, Jason, about the Boston Bruins. And if they make the playoffs, great. But if not, what they set out to do is be more competitive, be a better team, move it forward, feel good about where they're at. That's how I see the Boston Bruins.
Greg Button from TSN joins us. Craig, we mentioned Buffalo, and they made some moves, and I like actually what the Buffalo Sabres did. You go out west, and Colorado obviously made a big move. Dallas added some players, I think, that fills hole. So did the Minnesota Wild, as did the Edmonton Oilers. The Vegas Golden Knights did add one player in Dow, but not like they were not overly aggressive, which is kind of unlike Vegas, and makes me wonder because usually they're always swinging big. But they didn't swing big this year, even though they're leading the division, obviously not by many points. What'd you make of a quiet Vegas-like deadline? Yeah,
it might be reality setting in for them. That I think Vegas has been like a good team. Okay, so good team this year. Their goaltending has been below average, really below average. So the way I'm looking at Vegas right now is I think they see like what their team has been. I think they see that their goaltending has been below average. So now it comes to a hope position, hoping that one of those goaltenders can find his way and get a little bit better in this play. Aiden Hill is the guy that comes to mind. And if not, then okay, then we can look at the summer to see what we can do with our goaltending. And they may be simply looking at it as, hey, we'll see how far we go with this. If the goaltending gets better, we feel we can maybe go a little bit further. They're not a contender. And when I say contender, they're not at the high end of contending.
Yeah, no, that's I would agree with that. The Maple Leafs ship off all their guys, came kind of the last minute, and Lachlan and McMahon. And, I look at Toronto and I'm like, man, they've got some talent on their team. I'm not sure they're in a rebuild mode, but now they just got rid of some quality NHL players. And it's not like there's a massive list of free agents. Like, why wouldn't you have tried to re-sign some of these guys rather than trade them away for second and third and fourth round picks that aren't going to help you for 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, here's what I would say is that their team with those players this year is right near the bottom of the league. So, yeah, you can go and re-sign them, and yeah, you can say, hey, listen, they could be pretty good. But I think that the team as a whole is not very good. And I don't think they have much talent. I know that Matthews and Austin Matthews, Matthew Nyes, Tavares still performs, Nylander. But all in all, I don't think they're a very good team. And I think the reality is set in for the Toronto Maple Leafs. the prospect cupboard is just about empty. Their draft pick drawer was just about empty. And I think they looked at it and said, this is what we have to do. We're going to have to. I personally see Toronto a lot like it was in 2014. They're going to have to. They're going to have to go through pain. Mike Babcock talked about it regularly, didn't he? He talked about it regularly. He said, hey, there's going to be a lot of pain. I see them in a similar light there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like
that's just where I'm at. And like Austin Matthews has 2 years left there, and I don't think they're going to contend in the 2 years that he's left there. I don't know. I mean, too many people. I think last year might have been their last gasp, and now you see a team that like when I look at their team and I go, well, what type of game can they play in? And evidence just keeps coming in. They can't play against Tampa. They can't play against Florida. They can't play against Ottawa. They can't play against New York Rangers. They can't and I know part of it is spirit and where they see themselves, but this is a team that hasn't been very good. And I think you have to sometimes just look at it as what it is and just say, hey, here's the reality. We got to look in a different direction. I think that's what they've done.
Yeah. Craig, if outside of Colorado, is there one trade you really liked for a team?
One trade that I really liked. I'm going to go a couple places here. I like Braden Shen going to the New York Islanders. And I think it takes pressure and a little bit of the load off of Barzal and Bo Horvat. And I think that becomes a positive. And I mean, and Braden can settle in as a third line center or even play on the wing with JG Pajot if they want to put him there. And I like the Justin Falk trade for the Detroit Red Wings. I think that type of, he's got another year left on his contract, but he's got jump. He initiates play. I think he'll take some of the pressure off of Sider. He'll add some offense. He'll add some of that transition. So I like it for Detroit, and I like where the New York Islanders went with identifying that, you know, Braden Shen, we got some young guys, and Braden has won. He's been a really good, hard competitor, and that type of player, that type of person can come in and help them.
Craig, great stuff as always, buddy. We appreciate your time. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we will chat with you next Friday.
Yeah, you have a wonderful weekend too. Thanks, Jason.
That's Craig Button from TSN. A busy day. We will run down all of the trades for you, because we had a few people saying, "What? I never heard about Kadri," and rightfully so. I get why you didn't, because the trade deadline officially ended at 1, and everyone's like, "Yeah, okay, you know what? Maybe 1:30." That trade didn't come down until way later. So you have Nazam Kadri, if you're just joining us, is now a member of the Colorado Avalanche. Him and a fourth rounder go to the Avs. The Flames get Victor Olofsson, Max Kern, current Edmonton Oil King, as well as a first in 2028 and a second rounder in 2027. Calgary retains 20% of his salary. Tanner Pearson is now a Sabre. Seventh rounder goes to the Jets. The Kings acquired Scott Lawton. Toronto gets a conditional third round pick. It becomes a second if the Kings just make the playoffs. Boston got Lucas Reichel from Vancouver for a sixth. David Camp is now a member of the Washington Capitals. The Canucks get they got 2 sixth rounders, one for Reichel, one for David Camp. The Ryan Strome goes from the Ducks to the Flames for a 7th rounder in 2027. I actually can't believe that the Flames even have to give up a 7th rounder. No offense. I probably just could have said, hey, Anaheim, you want to get rid of the money? Give it to us. There you go. Bobby McMahon goes to Seattle. The Maple Leafs get a 2nd rounder in 27 and a 4th rounder coming up this June. Big deal had Justin Falk going to Detroit. The Blues get Justin Holl, Dmitry Bujelnikov, and then a 1st rounder and a 3rd rounder in 2026. Also, Braden Shen goes to the Islanders. The Blues get a 1st rounder in 26, a 3rd rounder in 26. Jonathan Drouin and goaltending prospect Marcus Gidloff. Elmer Soderblom, the hulking forward from Detroit, goes to the Penguins for a 3rd rounder. Timothy Liljegren goes to Washington from San Jose for a 4th round pick. Nicolas Deslauriers won't play tonight for Carolina. Don't think he can get in town in time. and he is now a member of them. Philadelphia gets a conditional 7th rounder. Vinny Hinostroza is a member of the Panthers for future considerations, basically nothing. So Florida just kind of doing Minnesota a favor, really, in that deal, just to shed some salary. And then they added Nick Foligno from Chicago for future considerations, which is basically nothing. Just so you know, that's nothing in today's world. Corey Perry on the move again, is going back to Tampa Bay. The Kings get a 2nd-round pick in 2028. And Bobby Brink is a member of the Wild. David Urasek, the former 6th overall pick. This is the 2nd time he's been traded. He's only 21 years of age. He's now a member of the Flyers. John Carlson, one of the bigger trades earlier the day. He's now a member of the Ducks. The Capitals get a 1st-rounder in 2026. If the Ducks don't make the playoffs, they can retain their 1st-rounder and transfer their 7th or their 1st-rounder in 2027. So Ducks just protecting that they don't want to miss the playoffs. The Caps also get a 3rd-rounder in 2027. Luke Schenn, Logan Stanley, that happened late last night, go to the Jets for a 2nd and a 4th-rounder, Isaac Rosen and Jacob Bryson. And Sam Carrick, the former Oiler, also traded late last night. He goes to the Sabres, and the Rangers get a 6th-rounder and a 3rd-rounder for Sam Carrick. They obviously wanted a guy who could win some faceoffs, but so they gave up a 3rd and a 6th. And Connor Garland was the other late night trade last night. He's now a member of the Blue Jackets, a 2nd in 28 and a 3rd in 2026 for Vancouver. So there you have it. And Jean-Gabriel Pajot signed a 3-year extension with the Islanders at $4.85 million. We'll come back with 5 questions, and you got about 50 minutes if you want to get in our contest today, where it's very simple. It's Positive Friday. All you got to do, you want to win a pair of seats, row 18 to tonight's game. You can see all the new Oilers. Oh, and that McDavid Draisaitl guy. Just all you got to do is simple. Go to our YouTube page for Sports 1440, hit the subscribe button, take a picture of it, send it in, and you can qualify, and Connor will draw a name, and we'll announce it just after 5 o'clock. Let's get to a quick break, and we'll return to Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you, Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Being a living organ donor is a noble, life-changing act. But there's more than one way to be a hero. Join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence. As an employer, you can give the gift of time and remove financial barriers to make employee donations easier. You'll earn recognition, a raised corporate profile, employee satisfaction, and of course, be a huge part in saving lives in desperate need. Support the sacrifice of living donors. Discover how to join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence program today at kidney.ca.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and if you want your trailer to be ready for May long weekend, the time to make your plan is not in the spring, it's now.
Everyone wants to be ready to hit the great outdoors at the same time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, but a little foresight can have your camping plans firmed up while everyone else is putting it off for later. At No Bull, we're building our spring startup schedules now, so it's a good time to get on our list.
And there's only so many RVs you can work on between then and now, right, Rick?
It's a zero-sum game, Bob. We have a finite number of RV techs and service bays. We're working every day from now until the busy season, and there's one thing I'll guarantee. Every spring startup slot for May long weekend will be reserved by April 1st. So if you want to spend Victoria Day in the great outdoors instead of wishing you were in the great outdoors, drop by or give us a call now. You'll thank me later.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.450 as we continue on a busy, positive Friday, as always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the action, use the Jason Gregor Show odds boost, also casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, all in one place at PlayAlberta.ca. Some pretty big games tonight. You have the Avs and the Stars. You have the Oilers and the Hurricanes. You got the Wild and the Golden Knights. So, pretty good action if you're an NHL fan tonight. Then the Oilers go on the road. They play Vegas. They play Colorado. They play Dallas. This will be a real good 4-game stretch for the Oilers to better wake up defensively, number one. And number two, some decent opportunities to see how they match up against some of the other best teams in the National Hockey League. It's time now for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Maybe you haven't been able to sleep. Well, you want to sleep better? How about 50% off mattresses? 50% off any new bed. You get 3 accessories. Check it out right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. If you had to describe this year's trade deadline in one word, what would it be?
Well, I came in here worried that we hadn't done enough, and Gregor hit me with a B+ grade. I remember from my days in school, that's fine. So I'd say B+ would be how I would describe it.
The Oilers, they kind of did what I thought. I thought they might add another depth guy today. But what they could do is, you know what? I could see them they sent Josh Szymanski down. I wouldn't be shocked there if they recall Max Jones and he becomes their extra forward, right? Like it would make a lot of sense. You let Szymanski play every night in the AHL, and you have Max Jones as your extra forward, right? Like he's not developing anymore. So, and Szymanski's a better player at that level. But for the Oilers, how would I describe this year's trade deadline? Oh, just a whole deadline overall, Connor?
This is not Oilers. This is just the deadline overall.
I would say cautious.
Good choice of words. Question or word? Question number 2. This is the obligatory deadline question. As we sit today, which team's moves did you like the most? And was there a team that you thought could have done more, maybe underachieved a little?
Well, it's hard not to like Colorado. Like, how can you not? But I actually, you know what? I like Colorado in the West, and I like Buffalo in the East. You strengthen your third pair. Logan Stanley's had a really good season. And we all know that size matters in the playoffs. You got this huge hulking guy. You got power. You got Dahlin. You got Samuelson. You got Kesselring. You got Bo Byram. Like, that's a really good defense core. So I love that for the Buffalo Sabres. And I was surprised that Montreal did nothing Because imagine if they don't finish this season off and make the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying win around. I'm just talking make the playoffs. I think that'll be a huge failure. Like, it would look like such a promising year. Hab fans are super pumped, and then they're like, what? We missed? So, like, because they're not in that safe of a position right now. So, especially because Ottawa actually added some guys at the deadline here. So, I'm going to say Montreal for sure. And I was a little surprised that Vegas only added 35-year-old Dowd. I wonder if the organization's like, maybe this isn't our year.
I'd agree with you. Colorado getting Kadri back. It's probably the team that did the best. And Connor and I were talking at the break, and he mentioned Calgary. He didn't think had done all that much. And I said, that's all I need to know. Calgary is the worst. Let's go.
I mean, I did say they moved on from Kadri, but
fair.
You heard Calgary worst, and
Calgary sucks is what I heard. And I said, well, Connor, if you insist, I can certainly tell the listeners.
Question number 3 for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much better do you think you feel and fans should feel about the Oilers team post-deadline versus before the deadline?
I'd say you probably should feel like a 7 because the trades help 2 areas. But the reason I can't give them higher is the Oilers' major issues weren't just like they needed a right shot defenseman. They needed a center. I get all that. But those guys don't play the most minutes on your team. They don't play goal. They can't improve the entire team defense. That's what's letting the team down. So am I confident the Oilers can figure it out? Yeah, because they've shown they can before, but I can't get higher than a 7 if I was an Oilers fan.
I'll give it a 7 too, roughly the same as a B+. You could give 7.5 if we're awarding half points, Connor.
Mm-hmm. Question number 4. Looking back at past trade deadlines, was there a year or a trade that stands out to you the most, good or bad?
Would you consider the Ryan Smith a trade deadline deal?
Oh, yeah, of course. It happened right around the trade deadline.
Then I'm livid, then and now. When he went to Long Island, part of me died.
Yeah, but also started Oilers Nation. So if you look back and you say that's one of the greatest things, maybe it never would have started if you didn't get traded.
Lemonade from lemons.
Yes, exactly. Well, the Rantanen one to me is still like that was a pretty big deal, man. So I will go. I'm going to go with Rantanen. I'm trying to think of any other one that's like really stands out. Like there were some bigger names that late in their career got traded, but they were late in their career and it wasn't that impactful. I'm going to go Rantanen for sure. And then the other one was the Jeff Carter trade from Columbus to the Blue Jackets. That was a pretty big deal.
Kind of forget about him with the Jackets. Question number 5 for you guys. On this day in 1987, Lethal Weapon was released. If you were making a buddy cop movie in 2026, who are you casting? And do you have a favorite film of that genre?
How about a show called Very Lethal on Ice Weapons featuring 29 and 97, Connor? What would you say to that? I'd go get in line right now. That's a buddy cop movie I could get behind.
Ooh, buddy cop movies. I'm probably going to go with Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do? Yeah, I'm going with that one for sure because there's a few good lines in it. Will Lowry, right? There was, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith were pretty funny. So I'll go with Bad Boys. And who is starring today though? Like, if you're going to buddy movie, you probably got to have some guys that can that work well together. Be hard not to go with Damon and Affleck just because they work incredibly well. They could kind of be like, old. You'd have the storyline about old guys nearing the end. They're pissed off. They're just like, I just want to punch my ticket in. Like, I don't want to deal with this crap. And then they probably have like some younger guys that they're trying to mentor. I'd have to think of who would I have starring in that younger guy role. Oof.
Is that age appropriate for Affleck and Damon now? You think they're end of career cops? That's the age appropriate role?
50. Our buddy Grant just retired. Like, dude, you're a cop at 50. That's a lot of wear and tear, man. What do you think you're going to be a cop for until you're 70? Walking the beat, trying to catch delinquents like you?
Me?
Yeah. So no.
I'm closer to the retirement age.
I would think
delinquent.
most of our police officer listeners I would think 50 to 55 is like, you know what, maybe you get a desk job here a little bit or something, but I don't think that those guys are, in certain instances you can be, but eventually you're kind of looking to wind it down. I would think like that's a grind, man, on the body, I would think. Cons, what about you?
Buddy cop movie. got to be 21 Jump Street or the other guys, like taking the kind of the comedy route with those ones. I don't know. I have a hard time getting the actors for this one. Let's say, is it Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
And
Chalamet.
Tom
Chalamet,
Holland.
right?
Couple of the young guys in Hollywood, or just give me 2 of the 4 kids from Stranger Things. I'm sure they got a good chemistry as well.
Okay. What if now I know this would be a real stretch, but what if I had like Seth Rogen and Bill Hader, Officer Slater, Officer Michaels? Could that be a buddy cop movie? Because if that would qualify, even though that wasn't the main premise of the movie, but they were buddy cops and they had a pretty big role in Superbad. God, that'd be funny. Like that movie, man. I watched it again the other day. I think the first 40 minutes of that show is just unbelievable. It gets still funny. And then he's like, I'll just get it. Like there's so many good lines in that movie. It's unbelievable. God, it's funny. Like the best part is think about your buddies and how you chirp. Guys chirp your buddies even older, but when you're younger, just some of the chirps in that line. Oh my God, it was awesome. When Seth is just losing his mind on Fogel, what do you think, an R&B singer because of his name, McLovin? Oh, so good.
The buying booze part is really good too. Like with the old lady and just kind of his imagination running amok a little bit.
And then he gets suckered, right? Just gets absolutely popped. Oh, it's a tough one. Oh, man. But Superbad is a movie that I can watch almost any time, and it makes me laugh. And even though, like, I'll know what's coming, and it's still funny. Oh, God. I'm sure everybody has a few movies like that out there that like, you know what, man? It doesn't matter what type of mood I'm in. You give me some time and I watch that movie, I'm in a better mood. I'm laughing. Like there's a few of those classics. Oh, like there's a few scenes in oh God, why am I forgetting it? When they're the male, when Ben Stiller and Owen, why am I forgetting the name of it? Oh my God.
Starsky and Hutch?
No. When it's
Zoolander?
Oh God. Like just lots of hilarious lines. I got the black lung. And then it can't go left. Like, oh, that's true. Like Wanye Gretz, he could never do it, right? Couldn't do it.
Super Troopers for me is a movie like that too. That like I will laugh every single time I watch Super Troopers. It doesn't matter if it's on in the corner and I'm not paying attention. If I only get there halfway through, Super Troopers is a classic.
You know what? I have I think I've seen it once. I know I probably should see it again, right? But like when Zoolander freaks out about the Center for Ants. Oh my God. So funny. Oh, love it. Cons, please tell me you've seen Zoolander.
All right, so you've been seeing the sequel.
Yeah, well, that wasn't great.
But yeah, no, Zoolander's a classic. That was like right in my prime. Junior high.
How can we be expected to teach children how to learn if they can't even fit in the school? Oh, so good. We'll return. Spec is going to join us. We got LT on a busy trade. Well, I guess it's a trade deadline Friday. It's kind of come and gone, but it's still a positive Friday here. And the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. If you're just looking for a deal, March Madness is here. They're not going to lure you in with some specials. They just want you to get a good deal on a good vehicle. Oh, and by the way, plus 11 tomorrow. The vets are in store. You might just want to roll around and take one out. Plus 11. Try it out. Northgate GMC.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
As Jason mentioned, trade deadline come and gone in the NHL. Some notable trades. The Avs bringing back Nazam Kadri from the Flames for a first and second round pick, as well as Victor Olofsson and Oil King Max Duran. The Sabres acquiring Tanner Pearson from Winnipeg for 7th round selection. Dylan Strome to Calgary for a 2027 7th round pick. and Scott Lawton of the Kings for a third rounder. Also, Justin Call going to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for Justin Hurst and a third back to St. Louis. Also, earlier today, Corey Perry heading to Tampa Bay in exchange for a 2028 second-round pick, and the Islanders extending J.G. Peugeot 3 years, $4.85 million. On the ice tonight, Oilers taking on the Kings just after 7. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro coming up at 6. We've also got the Avs and the Stars. Canucks taking on the Blackhawks, Social Canadians Wild in Vegas, and the Sharks taking on the Blues in the Association. Getting going shortly, Mavericks in Boston, Hornets hosting the Heat, Trailblazers up against the Rockets, Clippers in San Antonio, and the Lakers will host Pascal Siakam and the Pacers. In the BCHL, Saints in Trail at 8, Crusaders hosting Brooks at 7, and the AJ Devon will host Drumheller, Storm in Whitecourt, and Old meets Bonnieville. U of A volleyball down at the Saddle Center tonight is Canada West Final Four. Pandas kicking it off against Thompson Rivers at 6. The Bears out in Vancouver taking on Trinity Western. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, the host of the Lowdown with Low Tide, Alan Mitchell, and his part 3 of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning on the Canada Para Hockey Team. They'll preview Saturday afternoon's game. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Tomorrow at Rogers Place, celebrate orange plastic tracks and the toy most likely to go through your washing machine. Don't miss the first ever Edmonton Oil Kings Hot Wheels game. Be there as your Oil Kings crash and bash up the Medicine Hat Tigers. There will be Hot Wheel car giveaways for the kids and more adrenaline-fueled fun. And Calmont Kids food combos are $10 or less. The value is monster truck sized. The Edmonton Oil Kings Hot Wheels game versus Medicine Hat, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's on the rocks.
We're turning Jasper Avenue green.
Your 5-day St. Patty's Day party kicks off Friday at OTR.
With live entertainment every day.
Including the Feelin' Lucky burlesque show on Sunday.
Plus pipers, Irish dancers, and doors open at 9 a.m. on the 17th.
We got more green beer than Marco has fancy shirts. And trust me, that's a lot.
Lucky the Leprechaun will be there.
Will you?
It's the iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's on the rocks. Next round's on me. Woohoo!
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock on a positive Friday, it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, NBA, NHL, you name it, they got it. All sorts of fun. You can do live action games as well. PlayAlberta.ca. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley with you as we roll through a busy Friday afternoon. And it's time for the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And if you're looking for a great company to work for, guess what? They are hiring right now. Go to gsconstruction.ca and you can apply, not just for a job. I love promoting from within. You want to get in at the ground level? They got those jobs. If you're experienced topman and more, they got those. GS Construction. As we get to Mark Spector from the Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, doing pretty fair, man. What's going on? Busy day?
It was quite a busy day. Maybe not as busy as some expected, but really it came in late. And Justin Falk and Braden Shen and Nazam Kadri. Like there was some significant players moved today for sure. And the big names are one thing. I think for some teams, filling a hole is a beggar need. The Minnesota Wild went out and added a lot of different pieces to their team. The Edmonton Oilers, did get a big name, but they got some pieces filled. The Buffalo Sabres, I think the same thing. The Anaheim Ducks did get a fairly big name in John Carlson to help out for them on defense. So there's some teams I definitely liked what they did. And there's a few I was kind of surprised by. The Oilers ultimately didn't do anything additional to what they did later, and now they're going to run tonight. But Szymanski was sent back down today, Spec. He hasn't been recalled, so it leads me to believe he's probably going to go down. And I do wonder if we see Max Jones get called up when the team goes out to Vegas.
Okay, what's their number right now? They have
they got lots. They had 400. They had 975 of Szymanski plus the 475. So
no. I'm talking about the number of guys in town. I mean, they have 12 and 6 tonight.
12. They got Stastny and 2 goalies. Like Szymanski just went down. They have room for him to replace him on the roster.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I assume they're sending him down to play.
Yes,
right? Sending him down to play. Like, there's just even if he gets in this lineup, particularly with Doc in town here. They're going to take a look at him. Even if he gets in this lineup, Jay, there's not very many minutes for him. So I would say to you that I'd rather see him in Bayco right now while they sort out what they're doing here. And there's a future for him here. I don't know if the future's right now. Is that fair?
Yes, I think that's valid. So because he's played single digits. Like the other game, Lazar gets hurt and he only played 8 minutes. To me, that's where I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah. I don't think we're going to see it. And that's why I thought there was a chance they might add someone else, but they probably say, hey, you know what? We can just get a depth guy without spending any more money. We'll just take Max Jones and he can come up here and play the odd game and sit in the press box and not really going to stunt his development.
That's why you have veterans on your farm.
Yeah. And away they go. Dickinson had a very interesting comment today when he was asked about his role and how he likes it. And he says, you know what, man, I love when I can see the frustration on the other team's top guys. And you know what, Spec? I'm thinking, man, I can't remember the last time a Oiler player who's kind of that excited about the thought to play defense.
See, I was thinking exactly the same thing as you were.
Yeah.
And not only that, not a quiet confidence, like a lot of, confidence verging on cockiness, right? I love when I can squeeze the belief out of a player on the other team. Like I thought, oh boy, like this is a confident guy, right? If you're going to talk that talk, man, you better get out there and walk it. And you know what? That's great. Like this isn't me criticizing him. I want a guy in there that's really confident. I want a guy in that role that says, give me your best player. I'll shut him down. I've shut them all down before, and I'll shut your guy down. So I loved it. I thought his comments were, there's so much deferral in this organization somehow ever since, like, McDavid's just such a great player, and he's the captain, and he's so well respected. I find that people kind of just keep their opinions a little muted. And this guy walks in the door and says, basically, I'm a shutdown guy, and I love squeezing the life out of those Stars, and I can't wait to do it for the Oilers. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it's totally true. And it's something that, and maybe that's infectious, right? Like you can take pride. Hey, you want to be a scoring team. And the thing is, they've shown they know how to play defense. They've done it. Like they shut down Vegas and Dallas, right? So they know they can do it. It's just, it seems they kind of wait a little bit longer. Maybe they get bored of it. And now there's 20 games left, Spec. It would not shock me at all if the Edmonton Oilers over the next 20 games suddenly are like a decent defensive team.
Well, that's because it's totally their goal. Now they got their guys. I really like. Listen. I think that the acquisition of Dickinson, if he's going to have, like, their third line center never played a ton, and that ice time's coming from somewhere. And in my opinion, that ice time's going to come. It's going to stop McDavid from having to defend the best players all the time. This is going to me. You're going to take probably a little bit of time away from McDavid, not much, but what you're going to take away is defending the other guy's best people. McDavid 5-on-5 this year, he hadn't been great, right? So I'm happy to let Dickinson have some of that time and give McDavid more time against lesser players. Like that, to me, is a hell of a solution around here.
Oh God, that's going to be Dickinson. You know what? That could be his biggest advantage. And if he does it and it works well, then guess what? I'm re-signing him. He's only 30 years of age. I'll be re-signing him for a 3-year deal. No questions asked. I'm not doing him a 6-year deal. I'm not doing him a 5-year deal. I'm doing him a 3-year deal. And I think that would be more than fair. On the case of Murphy, he's going to start with Wallman. I think he'll play with Nurse on the penalty kill. And I still think at some point he'll be with Nurse. I know Knobloch has said they're going to try it, but they're taking on a Carolina team tonight, Spec, that you know what you get from the Hurricanes. You better be ready to skate, and you better be ready to be on your toes, because that's how the Hurricanes play. I know they kind of had a sleepwalking game against Vancouver, and probably because it was Vancouver, and it's hard sometimes. Okay, guys, we got to respect the other team. Like, I remember in the Decade of Darkness, they got a really good team over there. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The Oilers are terrible. Can't say they're a good team, but so you try to lie to yourself and say they're a good team to get motivated. And that won't be an issue tonight. Like, even though the Oilers haven't played very well, they still got McDavid and Draisaitl, and that gets everybody on their toes.
Oh, listen, this will be a good game. I mean, Carolina didn't do much today, right?
No, all they had was tough guy, Nick Delorier.
Yeah, so I've got a ton of respect for Nick Delorier. I love a tough guy. If I had, on any team I have, I love a Nick Delorier, but that's not going to help him win a cup. When the cup game comes, he's not even playing in it. So I'm quite surprised that Carolina just sat on their hands here and didn't do anything at the deadline, especially with the big bad wolf Florida out of the playoff picture. Like, if I'm them in the East, I'm absolutely going for it. This is my Stanley Cup here, so I'm not sure what those guys are doing there, frankly. I thought being quiet today for that team was a bad idea. But they're a good team. It's funny, Jay. It's funny. Let's talk about this. Everyone, all we hear is, we hear criticism. Holland wasn't good enough, and he didn't do this right. He made that bad trade, and Jack Campbell this, and Bowman and Jerry and Bowman, what the hell? He's not doing a good enough job. And they got Tulsky. Everyone thinks Tulsky's this great GM. Remind me what Carolina's accomplished, right? What's Carolina done? Have they even been in a cup since 06?
Not since 06, no.
Right. So why does everyone think that everything Carolina does is so awesome? They got a good team that never delivers in Carolina. Never delivers. You think the Oilers have goaltending problems? No better or worse than Carolina, but only in Carolina for 10 or 12 years too. So I don't really get it. I just don't get it.
I think it's because they're
delivered there.
Yeah, they're very consistent as an organization in the regular season, right? And that is like, you can't overlook that. To me, that's a hard thing to do. In the last in the last decade, I think there's like it's funny in the regular season. If you look at teams, Tampa Bay, but they've won multiple cups. Boston and Toronto and Carolina are the top 4 teams. They're all in the East as far as points go. Yeah. But then you look at playoffs in the exact same time, and you're like, okay, well, who has wins? None of them. Carolina has fewer wins than the Oilers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton's actually played more playoff games than Carolina in the last decade. So it's an interesting one. Spec, it's like, somebody saying, oh, look at, like, they're talking about Colorado, and they're like, oh, Colorado and Edmonton, they're not even the same stratosphere. Colorado's, they won a cup and they're rebuilding right back at it. I'm like, okay, let's include their cup year. From 22 to 20 till now, Colorado did win a playoffs. You can't deny they won a cup, but they've won 5 playoff series, 4 of them in 1 year. The Oilers have won 9 playoff series. The Oilers have played 75 games. Colorado's played 45 games. Like, I get that the cup is the ultimate goal, but it's not always the best assessment of where an organization's been. Like, if you're taking swings and pretty big swings year after year, and you're at least into the final 8 every year, right? And then that's 3 out of 4 years, you're in the final 4. You have to say it's a pretty good organization, because it's not like Colorado doesn't have superstars, right? Don't tell me McKinnon and McCarr, right? So it's funny that way. Carolina's problem is they don't have a superstar, right? Like, they have an elite defensive defenseman, but he's not an elite defenseman because he doesn't bring any offense, right? He's an elite defensive defenseman. They don't have an elite player. And until the organization gets one, like, I look at their trade deadline, I'm like, okay, they got Nick Deslauriers. Could they win a round or 2? Sure. But I don't even put them as a threat. I don't put them as someone who I think can win the cup, because I have no faith that they could beat whoever comes out of the Atlantic.
I agree. Like, they're not better than Tampa. So, it's just funny.
I think they're better than Buffalo. Buffalo has star players. Rasmus Dahlin is an elite player.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, even it's a perception thing. Look at, I'm looking on the internet today, and Colorado made some nice moves here, getting Kadri. Kadri's a really good second line center, pushes Nelson down to third line center. They're really strong up the middle. But is McKinnon, Kadri, Nelson, is that better than McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson? So let's look at their lines here. Colorado's got McKinnon, Edmonton has McDavid. Let's just say that's a wash. McDavid, RNH, and Hyman. Is that a worse line than McKinnon, Natchez, and Lehkonen? Let's call it a wash. I don't think that McKinnon's line is considerably better. In their second line, the second line tonight, when the games start tonight, Edmonton's second line's got 141 points this year. Colorado's second line has 105. Is anyone going to argue that Kadri's better than Draisaitl? No one's going to argue that. Draisaitl's way better than Kadri. They got Taves and McCarr in their first pair, really good. Are they considerably better than Ekholm and Bouchard, Jason? Or is it, mostly a wash, right?
Well, I'll say this, Spec. In the playoffs, Evan Bouchard's numbers crush Cale Makar's numbers.
There you go.
You want to look at points, and you want to look at goals for, goals again.
So people are saying at home, yeah, but they got way better goaltending. And I'm going to say to you, so has Jake Ottinger always been a better goalie than whoever Edmonton had in the pipes. And how's that been working for Dallas? So everyone, I'm getting this vibe that Colorado's just going to roll. And
I don't think so.
Team like Edmonton, so they can't compete with Colorado. Yeah, I totally disagree with those people.
I would say now Edmonton's advantage is they don't have to face Colorado, Minnesota, or Dallas until the third round. And I don't deny that. That's a big advantage. And guess what? That's going to happen every now and then. The last few years, teams didn't have to face Vegas or Edmonton. And trust me, those have been good teams the last few years. But right now, Edmonton's advantage is, and that's why I expect, to me, if the Oilers don't win their division and people say it doesn't matter, I call BS. The fact that the Oilers make it harder on themselves by going on the road in a crappy division is a joke. They got more skill than anybody in the Pacific Division. And if they don't wake up in the final 20 games and win the division, to me, that's a fail.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, this is a division that is ultimately winnable. Oh my goodness, right? Here we are with 20 games left. It's a sprint to the finish there. It's everybody's within 3 points of each other here. It's a sprint to the finish, and the team that wins it will go into the playoffs with a nice bit of momentum. Now you're going to get, a wild card team, whoever that is. Right now, I think they're San Jose and Utah or somebody, whatever. You play a wild card team. If you can't beat the wild card team, you don't deserve to go anywhere anyhow. So I'll agree with you. This is a year for Edmonton to sort of flex here. Like, let's go. You've played poorly for 60 games, and the division title is sitting there waiting for you. You just got to put your game together.
100%. They need to do that for sure. Spec, enjoy the game. I'll see you at the rink.
All right. Sounds good, Jake.
That's Mark Speck with the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Let's take a quick break. We'll return. We got some games on. I know we got a lot of texts from people. Oh, by the way, Cons, did you announce the winner? Who's going to the game tonight? Did you get in touch with them?
I did, yeah. Kyle's our winner.
Kyle, congratulations. Thanks for everybody who hit the subscribe button. And you know what? That's a good way to reward our loyal listeners. All right? Yeah, reward the loyal listeners. And thanks to Paul for some sweet seats to go to the game tonight. Didn't really have to do anything. Took about 30 seconds of your life. And now you'll get all of, don't worry, we don't inundate you with stuff, but now you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, you won't miss any of the big things when we let them go. So there you go. Come back. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
The Price is Right Live is coming to Canada, and the Brick is a proud sponsor. Come on down to the Brick to win big this Saturday, March 7th from noon to 2. Join us at the Brick South Edmonton Common for your chance to instantly win from over $25,000 in prizes, including Brick shopping sprees, TVs, Oilers tickets, and so much more. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See in-store for contest details and exclusions. So come on down to the Brick South Edmonton Common this Saturday.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's their greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Black 29, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's a busy day. Trade deadline today, of course. Some of the bigger names move. Kadri's now a member of the Avs. Falk's a member of the Red Wings. Schenn is a member of the New York Islanders. John Carlson is with the Ducks. The Sabres added former order Sam Carrick, a third and a sixth rounder, actually, for the Rangers in that deal. And they also got, they made the biggest splash when it comes to size, Logan Stanley and Luke Schenn. Schenn will go there as the number 7. But Stanley will draw in on the third pair with Kessering. They got a huge defense core, and they can really move. So it's good. It's real good. So some of the teams, I like their deals today, for sure. A few teams didn't do anything, and hey, maybe they'll pan out. That'll be the right decision. But I think of the teams who did nothing and they missed the playoffs, when you've been in the playoffs now for, the first 60 games of the season, I would say that's a fail. And I'm looking at Montreal and Boston. Now, the odds that both of them miss are pretty low. But Columbus and Ottawa, those two teams are coming on. They got 21 games. Like, there's lots of time to make up some ground. Like, look at Columbus. Columbus has 17 points in their last 10 games. They've gained 5 on Montreal. They've gained 4 on Boston. They've gained 6 on Pittsburgh. And now they're within 1, 2, and 3 points of those teams. So it's going to be a great race down the stretch for sure to see who gets in, who doesn't. Really, the only team that doesn't really have a race is Carolina. They are in first in the conference, so I guess that's kind of a race, but they've got a 9-point lead in the division, and Pittsburgh, I don't see catching them. Now, let's get to the lowdown host, Alan Mitchell, as we get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction, founded in 2009. They're the largest contractor in the land development, power, and gas installation in the Edmonton area. They shape and build Edmonton communities. All-Star Construction. And LT, you see the stats when you look at the trades. Obviously, the Kadri trade came in late, but when you look at Edmonton and you look at what Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Anaheim, Vegas, what they all did, LA even, what do you make of the Oilers heading into the final quarter of the season?
Well, I think that if they play the way they can, and that means a lot better than they have defensively recently, I think there was danger today if Vegas had really loaded up. The Central is, they're just going to beat the daylights out of each other. So it's hard to estimate. I love Kadri to Colorado. That's a really nice move. But, he's not a young player anymore. We don't know the impact he's going to have. There was a lot of activity today, but it wasn't, maybe at the teams that Edmonton will face, I think the Oilers did get better. We've talked about the McDavid line and the Draisaitl line and even strengthened how well they play, and the top pairing being really good, but they need a little help. Well, I really think that the third line will be a lot better, and then that'll allow Henrique and maybe Lazar to play on the fourth line. And then the defense, the Oilers went out and got a defender, a guy who can help on the penalty kill, and we'll see him tonight. And I think the Oilers did well. Now they really do need one of Jari or Ingram to step up, and we'll see if that happens. But I think they put themselves in good position. Would have been nice to have some more, cap room, but they didn't trade Savoy. They didn't trade Howard. They traded a distant, first-round pick. I think they did well. Now it's a matter of executing. When McDavid and Draisaitl are off the ice, I have no worry about those two. Their lines will be supreme, I know, during the spring.
Yeah, I never really understood why you thought there was a threat of them trading Matt Savoy. Like, I never saw any scenario why they would be even remotely willing to do that.
well, the Oilers traded Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle. The Oilers are a team that at times, and I mean, look at the deadlines in the past. Ken Holland picked up some players who really did help, like Mattias Ekholm, and they were just trading prospects and that sort of thing. But I did wonder, because they have, Jason, they have three smaller forwards, Matt Savoy, Ike Howard, Quinn Hudson. Hudson is in the same, caliber as the other two are first-round picks. And I think at some point in time, one of those is going to be leaving Edmonton, because I don't think he can play three smaller guys. Yeah, Nuge isn't a bigger guy either. So somebody's going to have to go from that mix. And my worry was that, Savoy, I think he put it all to bed because he played so well. But my worry leading into this was that they would be, tempted by a big offer, a big opportunity, and maybe sacrifice a young player who honestly has done everything asked, and he really is emerging in real time.
Yeah, I think Matt Savoy, he might be their most, well, now the Dickinson's here, maybe second as far as responsible defensively for it. I think the future is very bright. I know other fans, they see what Ryan McLeod's doing, and I understand it, but I think that's a trade that's going to work out well for both teams. And with Savoy being younger, it might just take a little bit of time for the Oilers fans to see it, but you're starting to see it a little bit with Matt Savoy, and I think you're going to see more as he gains more experience. Dickinson, we were joking with Speck. I haven't heard a player who's just like, hey, man, I'd love to see the frustration on the star guys. I could take so much pride in that element of his game and shutting them down. And it's just not something I've heard out of Edmonton in a long, long time. And I think his value, his value isn't going to be just in goals and assists and goals for and goals against or anything like that. I think his biggest contribution might be the minutes against elite players that he takes away from McDavid and Draisaitl, so they can play those minutes against lower level tier. And now you have more mismatches. That's where I think his value is really going to be seen here if he can do it.
Yeah, and it's timely because McDavid and Draisaitl are supreme talents, and it sounds ridiculous, but for the first decade plus of their careers, there was some line matching. But Knobloch prefers just to roll his players, and he's talked about it before. He'd say, I want to have McDavid and Draisaitl out there whenever they're fresh, whenever possible, let the other team worry about it. But the idea of, you're at home, you got an opportunity to check out the Dickinson line and play them against the other team's best, and then McDavid hops over the boards and there's clean air. He's playing maybe a second year guy at center and a couple of third pairing defenders. Well, he can make mincemeat out of those guys, and you want those mismatches. And I do think that for McDavid, those, not that they'll be easy minutes, but they're going to be easier minutes. He has played a lot of tough hockey for this Oilers team, and maybe if he gets even a couple of, you said it today earlier, I thought it was a really good point. You said even if there's 2 or 3 shifts a game, that gives you you tilt the ice 2 or 3 times in a game on a 5-on-5 shift. If you score a goal every 2 or 3 games, that's a hell of an advantage. They're not doing it now. Maybe they can start doing it when Dickinson and his line start to really run well when they get used to each other.
Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide, joins us. Al, so 20 games left. We're into the final quarter of the season. What's your expectation for the Oilers' defensive play and goaltending?
Well, I think they go hand in hand, and I think that we did see a little bit of there was some shorter passes. The forwards were coming down. It felt like it was maybe there was a little more. A little nuance, a little different than what they've been doing. Not big, but just a little tweak here and there. And then, I don't know what happened in California. Honest to God, Gregor, I've been to California and you get distracted or whatever. I get it. But they played one good game and then 2 really awful games. And, maybe they got scared straight and maybe they'll play better, but they have to play better. Like it's just execution. And there's a couple of goals, I think in the Anaheim game or maybe the San Jose game where the puck was loose and no Oiler found it.
No.
None. And then maybe it was San Jose. The San Jose player finds it, drills it into the net, and you're like, holy Batman, you got somebody's got to identify where the hell the puck is. and they just seem to be in a dream state. They were in a fog of war, and that can't happen. They've got a damn tough schedule coming up, and they've got to win games. It's not like they're home and dry here. They could still win the division, and they could still do that thing that nobody wants to see them do and miss the playoffs. So for me, this is a really, really big run here in March. They've got to get, at least 15 points, but I think they've got to get more than that. I don't know what the playoff bar for third place or second place will be in the Pacific, but whatever it is, they got to get there, and that means winning some games against some very tough teams.
Yes, well, this next week is a very good. The Oilers go 2-2 in the next week. I think they'd actually be pretty happy. Carolina, Vegas, Dallas, and Colorado. 3 of those games on the road. The Vegas game is the one you really want to win because it's head-to-head against a team that you're 4 points back up and trying to chase. Lastly, LT, Josh Szymanski sent to the minors. It doesn't look like it's paper shuffle because he hasn't been recalled. So I think he's going to stay down. He only played 8 minutes last game with Curtis Lazar in the lineup 9 minutes before. And I think he's looked very good. But it doesn't, if he's not playing right now, it doesn't make any sense to keep him here. So you could put him down and you can recall Max Jones when they go to Vegas. And he just meets the team in Vegas and he's your 13th forward.
Yeah, and so the thing of it, Szymanski's story is going to be written, but it's going to be written next year. And I'll give Stan Bowman credit. Savoy is going to be a young player on that team. Szymanski, I think, will be on the team next year. A young player, a value contract, doesn't cost a lot. I don't know what they're going to do with Ike Howard, but he's a guy, Quinn Hudson. They've got some options, but I think the one thing that we can say, even though he got sent down, Szymanski put himself on the map for next year. He's not a small player. He is a responsible player, and he's miles ahead of some of the guys who are trying to get to Edmonton. I'm looking forward to training camp for him. I think he's going to – I'm not going to say he's going to make it for sure, but, man, he really brings a lot of things. And I've watched the Bakersfield games, and he's an impact center down there. He'll help everybody down there, not just in scoring, but in outscoring. He's an outstanding AHL player.
Al, have a great weekend. Thanks for extended time on the deadline show today. Have a great day.
Oh, a great panini, by the way. It was a fantastic one.
From Booster Juice, buddy. It was unreal. So big thanks to Jimmy and everyone at Booster Juice today. That was, buddy, the booster balls. Those things are so good. And what's the booster ball? Do you remember the name? Your favorite one?
No. Oh God.
Asia, buddy. Asia.
I did eat the panini in 18 seconds. I will say that.
That's true. You did devour the Asia. They're the Asia bowls. Oh, they're good. We let young Josh take him home. He was like a kid in a candy store. He's very happy.
Have a good weekend, boys.
Awesome. We'll come back. We got Wanye's World 2-minute warning with Cam Tate as we wrap up a busy edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that
Smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Alan Olson Auctions presents the unreserved auction for Will's Welding of Pinoca. Online bidding is open now through March 10th at alanolsonauction.com. Bid on 2 one-ton portable welding trucks, telehandlers, a huge selection of new welding supplies and rods, plasma cutters, welding tables, power tools, metal racks, and so much more. For more info, call Alan Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit alanolsonauction.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Playoff race. Just look at what happened in the Eastern Conference last night. Everything got tight because Columbus and Ottawa won, Boston lost, Montreal lost, Islanders lost, or sorry, not Montreal, Penguins lost, and suddenly everybody's closer. So it's going to be a great race. Can't wait. In the Pacific for Oilers fans, the Ducks 72 or 71, Golden Knights 72, Oilers 68, Kraken 67, Sharks and Kings are at 64, and they got to get going a little bit. But the Oilers, you got to keep pace with Anaheim and Vegas over the next week. That Vegas game on Sunday, that's a big game. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. Furnace breaks down late at night or on the weekend, give them a call. No OT. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair, so never let him slow him down. He's always wanted to be on radio, and now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Fridays, Cam gives me the honor of reading his 2-minute warning. And this is part 3 of Cam's 10-part series on the Paralympics. Canada versus Slovakia, a clash of stories and stakes. Tomorrow, Milan, the stage is set. This isn't just a game, it's a statement. Canada ranked number 2, a program steeped in history, clawing its way back to the top. Slovakia ranked 7th, a rising force, hungry to prove they belong. The teams have never played each other. Canada is coming off a 4-0 preliminary win earlier this week. Let's break it down. Mika Kovacevic, remember the name. The 31-year-old Edmontonian makes his Paralympic debut tomorrow. A rookie on paper, but a veteran in heart. He's been a cornerstone of Canada's program since 2021. For us in Alberta, just seeing one of our own on this stage, it's special. It's pride. It's proof that hockey in Edmonton isn't just a tradition, it's opportunity. Canada's roster isn't just stacked with talent, it's loaded with legacy. Greg Westlake, a name that echoes through Canadian para hockey history. He retired, coached, but the fire it never left, and now he's back. The last man standing from the 2006 gold medal team. And now he gets to play at the Paralympics in front of his kids. Then there's Dominic Cozzolino. He stepped away, needed to discover his love for the game. He did, and now he's Canada's top scorer, the Slovaks' biggest headache. How about Slovakia's X Factor? Mikhaila Hozakova. Yes, you heard that right. A woman competing in para hockey's open gender tournament. She's rewriting history in Slovakia's blue line, and she's not alone. Martin Japa, their star forward, leads a gritty defensive squad. Their trap style is designed to frustrate teams like Canada. The stakes, it isn't just about 3 points. It's about pride, legacy, and proving you belong. Tomorrow, Milan becomes more than a city. It becomes a battleground. Canada versus Slovakia. Game on. And you can watch the game Saturday at 12:30 Edmonton time on CBC Gem. It's 2-minute warning. Cam Tate, Sports 1440. I can tell you I had the opportunity to try out Paralympic hockey and was on the ice, and it was wild, man. Like, first of all, like the sticks you have, the pegs, like those things are little weapons. Like they are really, and I was talking to the players like, oh yeah, you'll see guys like almost stabbing each other. The game is very physical. And like, so we got, try it, move around and see how you play and everything. But just watching how they stick handle and how they shoot the puck and like they can fire it, man. Like it is surprising. And Greg Westlake was on the ice. Like that guy was unreal. Like, but as I was watching them play, like I was surprised at how physical it was. And so ever since I got on the ice with them, I had a vast new appreciation for it. And I find myself watching games. And so Tater, thanks for the reminder, 12:30 tomorrow. That'll be a perfect afternoon to watch a little Paralympic hockey. So I love it. Love it.
They can roof the puck too. Like the shots are no joke in Paralympic hockey. I've watched like highlights on YouTube and stuff like that. Like I was really impressed to see like the level of compete. Guys are falling out of sledges and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, it's very physical and intense. And they can really shoot the puck, man. And like the best is when they stick out and they go underneath their sled and you come out the other side. And you've got to be ambidextrous because in hockey, you shoot forehand and backhand. But in sledge hockey, you're basically shooting on your forehand on both sides, though, one with your left, one with your right. And so you got to be obviously, I'm sure some guys can shoot a little bit harder with one or the other, but you got to be quick, man, with it. It's awesome. So good luck to them. It's actually a really good sport to watch. Quite enjoyed it. So let's wrap up with Wanye's World. What's on your mind, Wanye?
Well, I was looking at the different trade deadlines the Oilers have had and trying to put this one in perspective. And I'm looking back. Last year, they acquired Trent Frederick, Matt Jones, and Peter Hauser from the Boston Bruins. And the year in 2023, remember when they acquired Ekholm from the Predators? That blew everyone's minds. No one even saw that coming back. What do you remember as being an impactful trade deadline for the Oilers in the modern age?
Well, Mattias Ekholm, no question. That's the biggest one. Now, it happened, a little maybe before that, but right leading up to the deadline. Like that's the biggest move the Oilers have made at the deadline. And like, just look at his impact ever since he's come in and how much he's helped the team. Now they got other good guys around him, but he was a big impact. No question.
Andreas Athanasiou and Mike Green in 2020. When Mike Green came to Edmonton, I thought this is unbelievable. This guy's going to be a legend here. Didn't quite go that way. Athanasiou, I thought it was a strange time in 2020 with the season taking a pause, but I thought he was a good addition temporarily.
Yeah, but it was very temporary because Mike Green played a period and a half.
And then
got hurt, and then COVID hit, and then there was no more games to play, and then he didn't come into the bubble. Athanasiou made a bad business decision because the Oilers weren't going to qualify him at $3 million, and they actually offered him a $2 million deal, and he said no. And then he went to free agency and signed for $1 million, and just never really was the same. He was a great skater, speed, and that was one where I think Athanasiou, I think a lot of times you get bad advice, and he's not the first player. Like Vinny Desharnais, the Oilers offered him 4 years at $2 million. He turned it down. He ended up getting 2 years at $2 million. All right, now same money, but now we'll see what his next contract is. So maybe it won't matter if his next deal is $2 million a year. That's fine, but he turned it down because his agent thought he'd get more. Well, he didn't get more. He actually got less, right? And that's a risk because there's no guarantee in the NHL that you don't get injured or what have you. So sometimes, I get that you want to bet on yourself, but it's got to be an educated bet. If you're it's easy for the superstars to do it. It's harder for the lower level players to do it because you don't know ultimately what's going to happen. Now, maybe a little bit easier because the cap's going up and there is more cap space around, and lots of the star players are already signed. So, look at the Oilers. They don't have a big contract up. How much more is Dickinson really going to get? Honestly, right? Kapanen, Roslovic. Now Roslovic will get more than 1.5, but how much more, right? He became a free agent last year thinking he'd get more. It didn't happen. So it's never a guarantee for sure. So should be fun. What Collins, what are you watching this weekend, buddy? What's your camp mix?
I guess tonight and Sunday got to be the Edmonton Oilers, right? That's got to be the ones you're definitely looking out for. Sunday, huge game against the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas. So those will be the big ones for sure. Other than that, I'd probably tune into that Paralympic hockey. think it's, you know, a little sledge hockey. That's going to be fun to watch on CBC Gem. What an ad that was during the game. So probably keep that one rolling.
Yeah, I like it. Hey boys, what about Rollison? Yeah, Rollison worked out pretty good too. Yeah, Rollison. You know, think about it. Like Ekholm took you to 2 cups. Not took you, but he's been part of it, right? And Rollison was part of 1. So I'd rank Ekholm higher. But the Rollison one definitely was big. And I know that there's it's funny, both of those guys banged up in the playoffs and makes a difference. Right? Like health. If there was one thing you'd wish on your order team, it'd be wish them to be healthy in the playoff run. Look at Florida. They lost in 23 when they were banged up. Then they won in 24 and 25 healthy. Oilers have been banged up in 24 and 25. If they can get through and win and get and not have, like, obviously there's banged up, but then Echo, like Hyman couldn't even play. Draisaitl was playing. Nurse was barely playing. Like, it wasn't close. If you get guys who are a little nicked up, but nothing major, it's a big difference. So. Coming up, you got Walker and Paulson. They'll set you up for the pregame, the Hurricanes and the Edmonton Oilers. On behalf of Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Thanks, as always, for listening and watching the show. And thanks for everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We'll come back with the pregame show next. Let's get to the Command Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The NHL trade deadline has come and gone. In case you missed it, the Avalanche bringing back Nazam Kadri from the Flames for a first, second-round pick, plus Victor Olofsson and Oil King center Max Curran. Also, the Sabres acquiring Tanner Pearson from Winnipeg for 7th-round pick. Ryan Strome shipped to the Flames for a 2027th-round pick from Anaheim. Scott Lawton going to the Kings for a 3rd-round pick. And Corey Perry back to Tampa for a 2028 second-round draft pick from Los Angeles. Nick Foligno to Minnesota for future consideration. And the Islanders signing Jean-Gabriel Pajot to a 3-year deal at $4.85 million. On the ice, you got the Oilers in action, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes just after 7. Pre-game coverage coming your way with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. After 20 minutes, Panthers up on the Red Wings 1-0. Matthew Tkachuk with the lone goal in that one. Later on, Avs taking on the Stars. Blackhawks hosting the Canucks. Canadians and Anaheim Golden Knights hosting the Wild, and the Blues take on the Sharks in the association. Couple games underway. Second quarter, Mavs trail the Celtics 37-36, and the Heat and Hornets tied at 43 apiece. In the BCHL, Saints in a trail. Puck drop 8 o'clock. Crusaders will host Brooks at 7 in the AJ. Devon hosting Drumheller. Storm and Whitecourt and Olds meets Bonneville. And U of A volleyball tonight down at the Saddle Center. Canada West Final Four. Pandas kick it off against Thompson Rivers.